W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Tonight's the night, opening night in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs will raise their Super Bowl banner before kickoff against the Lions. The Chiefs are 4.5-point favorites tonight, and ESPN's Alex Smith doesn't see the Lions pulling the upset.
I see a big day from Patrick tonight. Matt Nagy back in the offensive coordinator position has been there. Obviously has a great relationship with Patrick. Was there as the offensive coordinator when we drafted him. I see fireworks tonight from the Super Bowl champs.
Alex Smith, ESPN's Ed Werder, reports Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce wants to play tonight, but the decision could be left up to head coach Andy Reid. Kelce not 100% after hyperextending his knee in practice. ESPN's Pete Thamel reports Kansas quarterback Jalen Daniels is expected to play against Illinois tonight after missing the opener with tightness in his back. The women's semifinals at the U.S. Open tonight, Coco Gauff against Karolina Muchova, then Madison Keys against the soon-to-be new number one, Irina Sabalenka, 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go with the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you around the world if you so choose to do so. You can also see us everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It's always important on a Thursday because it's
Threadbare Thursday.
Yeah, see, I figured I needed to warm you up for tomorrow's
Football Friday.
It's the first true one of those of the year because it just hits different when the NFL is back in session.
Yeah, because we can play fantasy football and talk smack to each other, and it's great.
And it all returns tonight with the NFL kickoff game. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. Jeremy, you'll have your bangers for the night. He's cobbled together I shouldn't say cobbled together because that sounds like we just threw some stuff at a wall.
Nope.
He actually has. This is the first time, I think, in the history of this program where Jeremy has come up with an actual 7-leg parlay.
7, baby.
That I actually believe might be able to hit tonight to make you some money. So we've got a 5 on it coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We have Green on Green as usual coming up at the end of this hour with your spread pick, your over under, all of that for tonight's NFL kickoff game. Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, will join us at the top of the next hour to preview this weekend's game, and we may or may not. No, we do have some tickets to give away for said Carolina game, so be listening at 4 o'clock for the cue to call, and you could be going to Chapel Hill for the game this weekend. So Jones at 4 o'clock. It'll be our last visit with Jones at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because next Thursday we will be 4 days into our brand new time schedule, which will put us 12 to 3 here on ESPN Asheville every weekday. So your new your new lunchtime menu of dumbassery is on the way.
Tank's really impressed by himself in that line. That may have a role in our new imaging.
It may. It may not.
That was sent off today, so we're not 100% sure how that's going to sound, but I got a pretty good idea.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful. So anyway, we got big changes coming for you. Monday will be the first day of the 12 to 3 slate. Changes here on ESPN. Asheville Adam Gold will be moving to our time slot here. So just kind of recording Adam, putting him on 3 to 6, and we'll be on 12 to 3, which is going to make things so much more fun for us, as we'll have time after the show to do all the TikTok things, or at least Jeremy will.
Yes, I will be able to bit this show out, so even if you miss anything, you'll be able to find it on the interwebs.
Indeed.
Much like our buddy and new ESPN cohort, Pat McAfee, does.
How'd that go, by the way?
I mean, it was fine to me. There was a lot of gnashing of teeth from, certain people because they couldn't say certain swear words. Duh.
We know. I told you
how
that
did
was
you
coming.
not know that?
Right.
Well,
told you that
they
was
can
coming.
still swear because it's run on a delay. They just can't overly use that one word
Right.
that my cell phone really thinks quacks. So they can't say that, but everything else, it's fine.
We got Chiefs and Lions tonight, and the Chiefs may very well be without 2 of their best players, and it may very well not matter.
I don't really think it matters tonight. I don't. It doesn't change my pick at all. Travis Kelce, I believe the information I got earlier today, he moves a betting line in Vegas the second most of any non-quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's hard to deny his impact on the game. I know you have Pat Mahomes, but I'm not sure Patrick Mahomes has ever played without Travis Kelce.
He has. He's missed a couple games over the last. He had COVID once.
Okay.
He's missed 2 last games of the year, and I think there was one more. He's not known for missing games.
Right. It's few games that he has ever played without him, but he's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still got plenty of weapons to work with.
Well, I mean, look, there's a big prevailing thought here for me that I'm going to throw this out there, and you, the lovely listeners of this here program, and Tank yourself, you can answer this for me.
Okay.
What exactly is it that all of you are seeing in the Detroit Lions? I'm fine with them, but I've heard a lot of Detroit's going to go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is laughably absurd.
I guess the thought is that without Chris Jones, the defense is not as apt, I guess, to shut them down. Won't be able to get the pressure. That offensive line will be able to dominate because he's not.
You've
there.
said that all day, and it doesn't stop being funny. You don't really understand how big of a difference there actually is between David Montgomery and Jamal Williams, and that's fine. You're going to understand it pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
What I was looking for you to say is how well Detroit ended the year last year.
That's what
they were so good,
Mm-hmm.
were they? Were they really?
They won what, 8 out of 10?
They won 8 out of 10, but let's talk about those games were against.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay Packers. Were they good at football?
No.
No. You beat them twice. Chicago Bears. Were they good at football?
Not necessarily.
No, you beat them twice, and you really struggled with them once. New York Giants. Were they great at football?
They were good.
They were fine.
It
was also probably the worst game they played all year.
Yeah.
Jared Goff had 165 passing yards in that game, and you still won going away. You beat Jacksonville. I'll totally give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, that's a decent win. I would argue they fell apart, but tomato. And the New York Football Jets in a big old gross fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's convincing you the Detroit Lions have arrived.
Yes, because we
Okay.
saw this team, quote unquote, grow over that end stretch of the season. And even
I'm not debating
even
they've
I wasn't
grown.
even I wasn't on the next year's going to be a big bump bandwagon until they won that last game of the season. Until they beat Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, who had a playoff game on the right, like they had a playoff spot on the line. It meant something. And the fact that they beat them made me feel better about it. I don't think that Detroit's going to come out and win this game tonight. I really don't.
I don't either.
And
Now, in terms of the spread, you have to stick around to the end of the hour to see where I feel about that.
And I'm just trying to – those are the arguments, though. The arguments that you're going to have is that Chris Jones is not going to be there, and so that takes away some of the pressure off of Goff. He's got enough weapons to work with.
And who are those weapons?
Amon St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sam
David
Laporta.
Montgomery, who's awful, a rookie tight end.
He's not that awful.
In terms of qualifying running backs last year, how many averaged fewer yards per carry than David Montgomery?
I don't know.
Oh, weird. None of them.
None of them.
How many averaged more than his backup? Oh, wait. None of them. Again. It would be one thing if it was David Montgomery was behind a terrible line. Okay, then why was his backup so good?
Mm-hmm.
David Montgomery is one of those guys that I'm just sitting back laughing, going, you do get that this is actually not a better situation for him. I can argue it's worse, and yet you think he's going to get better.
No, I just think he's fine.
I don't.
He's
I
the
think
ground.
he's-
He's the ground and pound guy.
I think he is a mediocre NFL running back that they paid like he was better than he is.
And you're
counting on two rookies in Amon-Ra St. Brown, who plays out of the slot, and I can mitigate him much easier than you think.
But if you put David Montgomery behind one of the best offensive lines in the league, then
you keep saying that too, which
Yes.
I don't even kind of agree. I mean, it's good.
I was going to say who
Best in the league. Who's better? The one playing them, and it ain't even kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
Not even kind of close.
And
that's where my point comes in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's say that you think that Detroit line is just phenomenal.
Yep.
You think it's better than Kansas City?
No.
You think they're going to go in here and outscore Kansas City? In their place, by the way.
No. Good Lord, no.
Because at the net root of it, the defense is still not good. Oh, we overhauled the secondary. I will give you $100 right now to tell me the two starters at corner for the Detroit Lions tonight.
Cameron Sutton.
That is correct.
And Emmanuel Mosley.
No, he's out.
He's out.
He is out.
Ooh, well, that's not good.
Yeah, Brian Branch is starting in the slot, just so we're, or at least that's how it's projected to go.
I don't know. The only I can't even think of another corner that they have on the team.
Yeah, the other one is something called a Jerry Jacobs. Yeah, that's
Yep,
that's what you're getting in this vastly overhauled, phenomenal Detroit Lions secondary.
Jacobs.
He was an undrafted free agent 2 years ago at
I
Arkansas.
don't even remember hearing that name.
You've got another rookie starting at middle linebacker. You've got one guy that I routinely expect you to be able to get home. Oh, yeah, and you're lining up against one of the best pass blockers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Juwan Taylor, not a good run blocker. He'll do just fine with Aiden Hutchinson. To me, this is not that hard, but it's what happens in the NFL that we get a narrative and we run with it. This is why Vegas has gold fixtures. Because somebody says something, you see Detroit, and yes, they did improve last year. The schedule weakened, and it allowed a team that's good, not great, to look great. They ain't great. They're not great. This is not a 12-win team. I think they're going to do the same thing this year. Doesn't start as pretty as you want it to. They get better over the course of the year. You're asking them to go into Arrowhead and beat Pat Mahomes in a Week 1 matchup. Fun stat about Pat Mahomes. This will be his 6th opening night start.
Yes.
You know what his stat line looks like in the first 5?
It's crazy.
1,836 yards and 18 touchdowns. You know how many interceptions he has?
None.
You want to hear the list again? Because it ain't never happened, not nary a time.
Mm-hmm.
When you give Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes this much time to script one team, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yep. If you're on the side of Detroit's going to win this one outright, or if you're looking at the money line or at the at the actual line and going 4.5, they could cover that. I'm not on that side. It's Kansas City Chiefs, and best of luck to Detroit. I hope it looks good.
Well, I mean, I hope
that
it's
you can
close.
build on, and you keep it a competitive game. And
We've seen some ugly games in this scenario.
Yes.
Do you remember that fun opening night Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears?
Oh, that was fun.
Where I'm pretty sure my eyes started bleeding somewhere in the end of the first first quarter.
Was that 7-3?
It was
10-3?
It was not a lot.
Yeah.
If the over-under was 20 and you bet the under, you hit.
Right. I
just remember trying to
live.
live bet that game, and the live betting over-under was 14.5, and I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I think this game will be more competitive than some think. You had said to me earlier, Kansas City -1 billion, and I hope you were joking. because I don't see any path for this to be a bloodletting where they just open the floodgates and kill these guys by 4 touchdowns. That's
I
not
don't
happening.
either. I did have a fear, and I've had this fear with Detroit, and I've mentioned this multiple times. I really hate this first 8-week stretch for them because it's asking a lot. You go into Kansas City, nationally televised game. You go into Green Bay, nationally televised game. You got to play the Raiders the last week before your bye week, nationally televised game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're sending out crisis teams to their best players. I'm not overly worried about Vegas. This is a lot for a team that was basically an afterthought last year. And when did Detroit become really good? When they were a total afterthought, because they started really badly. Nobody had any expectation for them, and they went on a nice little surge towards the end of the year, and it made you think, oh, this is a great team. It's not a great team.
Yep.
It's not a great team.
Yep.
Notorious B.I.G. in our YouTube comment said, Ben Johnson's revoking his friend card. I think Ben would even understand what I'm saying here. Ben's a great offensive mind. He has not nary a thing to do with that defense. I'm not worried they're going to be able to score points. I don't see how you're supposed to stop them, because we took this defense that was not good, and now in our heads, because they've aged a year now, and you added a couple veterans, now all of a sudden they're great. They're not great. Whoever the 2 is for Kansas City is going to have a night tonight. The only reason I'm not aggressively wagering that is because I'm not 100% sure who it is. I think it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which is saying I'm going to wager that gives me the angina.
I wouldn't.
Because he's about as predictable as the weather.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I easily could see him having a deep touchdown tonight and another one. If I'm playing DraftKings DFS tonight, guarantee you he's in my lineup.
Okay.
Travis Kelce or not, don't care.
In the YouTube comments, Hubert Queen said the Lions' D is going to keep them in it, and the offense will let them down. I think you got that backwards, Hugh, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
I think it's the offense keeps them in the game.
If
and
the
it's
defense keeps them in the game, this is going to be way tighter than I think.
Yeah, and then the defense is the one that you go, oh, well, look, the offense put up 28 points. Yeah, but the defense gave up 35. So
it's just a lot to ask of a team, and I really feel like we're overvaluing this Chris Jones thing. All right, I want you to think about something. This line moved 2 points when we found out Travis Kelce might not be involved in this game.
Mm-hmm.
What did it do when the Chris Jones thing broke?
Nothing.
Oh, no, it moved. Half point.
Oh, okay.
It's just not that big a deal. It is not that big of a deal. Whether he plays or not, yes, it would be nice for Kansas City if he did, but it's not the end of the world if he doesn't.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. You probably guess where Jeremy's going to go with his picks for tonight's game after all the hints that he's dropped here. But the bangers coming up at the end of the hour. Take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Chris Jones a little bit more. He says that he wants to play tonight, but I don't think if they gave him a deal right now, could he get on the field? But he wants that Nick Bosa money, and there are a couple others that want it as well.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Linda, let's run vitals and measurements on Chairman Meow, and then...
Springtime is itchy skin time at Violet's Pet Clinic.
Oh, no. He seems to be very uncomfortable.
She needs more allergy vets to scratch appointments off her list.
Okay, let me see if I can find someone to get some steroid cream for him.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do.
Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
In a world where thrills never stop, $1 million is on the line, and your fate is decided every 4 minutes by a bunch of random numbers with...
Dan, I think Keno's exciting enough without you doing the voice.
But my talents add a little something, right?
I guess.
Carolina Keno, $1 million thrills every 4 minutes.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win. A price range from 1 to 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Want my tip for how to lower stress during fall prep? Head to Kohl's. I just went and found epic deals you don't want to miss that made getting ready for sweater weather so much better. I found super soft bath towels and pillows for just $3.99. Cute long sleeve tees for myself at $7.99. And shoes for my whole family at just under $35. Plus iron Kohl's cash. So if you want to get what you need for low temperatures, low stress, and low prices, get to Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end September 10th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Just mix a packet of Eucora with water and drink it when you need support, like right after intimacy. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is the opening night of the NFL season tonight. Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs from Arrowhead Stadium. And the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously the defending champions, going to be an emotional night for them. Getting their rings, they'll be hyped up, they'll be ready to go, and I have no doubts that we will see Patrick Mahomes do the things that he does in every season opener. Also on top of the Patrick Mahomes stats for openers, Andy Reid has won 9 out of his last 10 openers. You don't give geniuses like him extra time to plan for things. This is why they end up being in the or the AFC Championship game every damn year, because he gets a bye in the first round. He gets that time to plan. I don't care even who it is that they're going to face in the next round.
There's also a narrative happening in the chat right now that I've heard this a couple times, and let me just – I'm not talking about from you. I've heard this over the course of the day. About, well, last year with no Chris Jones, the defense took a 4.5% drop in pressure rate, and their sack rate dropped 1.5%. Mm-hmm. Why? Why does that happen? How many games Chris Jones missed last year?
I don't know.
0.
Okay.
All right, so the only times he wasn't on the field, which is what this stat is telling you, what does that mean? It's an obvious rundown. Hey, how many non-nose tackles did the Kansas City Chiefs have last year? 1, Chris Jones.
Mm-hmm.
In the message, repeat the line.
Mm-hmm.
They now have 2 behind him. Neil Farrell, who they just traded for from the Raiders, is one of them. I'm not saying they're great. Anytime Chris Jones came off the field last year, this was like the worst kept secret in the world. Chris Jones goes away, run play action. Because you're really susceptible to that when you have 2 nose tackles in the game. Mm-hmm. Especially when you don't have anybody on the edge that scares you. So that's a really biased stat. That's the beauty of stats. I can make them say anything I want to. Now, am I telling you that Kansas City's defense is not going to be hurt by Chris Jones not being there? No. That would be lunacy. But to tell me that Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid have seen this coming for a month, and Jared Goff and Marvin Jones and Josh Reynolds and Sam Laporta are going to come in here and destroy your defense, That feels a little comical to me.
I don't know that anybody's saying destroy the defense.
There are people, and you obviously haven't been on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Oh.
By the way, how long do we have to keep saying that? Like, do we have to do that in every AP story for the next, 9 years?
Yes.
Or we can just call it Twitter as opposed to X, which is stupid, Elon. If you go on Twitter, there are a lot of people that think that Detroit's just going to come in here and run it down their throat, that without Chris Jones, the defense is awful. I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that about the offense without Tyreek Hill, the defense without a slew of players, because they really haven't actually paid anybody in the better part of the last half decade.
Yep.
They are the definition of next man up. So, no, I'm not worried. Not worried. Be fine.
Okay, Chris Jones obviously still in the contract dispute with the Kansas City Chiefs. He wants that top-tier money. After Nick Bosa got $34 million a year yesterday, pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. Chris Jones, he knows he's not getting that, right? He knows he's not touching 34. But now
he's 5 years older and plays a different position, so I would hope not.
But now he's going all in on the Aaron Donald contract. I would say his floor right now is 31.02 or whatever is just above Aaron Donald.
You do realize that he basically came out and said that wasn't true, right?
Did he?
Yes.
Okay.
He was at a McDonald's event, I think. I think he has some kind of deal with McDonald's, and he showed up at a Chiefs event and said, I just want a pay raise.
How much of one?
Never asked to be the highest paid player at any position. Didn't ask for any of that. I want a pay raise. Do you know how much more Nick Bosa now makes a year than Chris Jones?
$14 million?
$14 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand him wanting a pay bump. But we do this a lot when we have contract negotiations break down. Kansas City hasn't really paid anybody full price in the Pat Mahomes era. Tyreek Hill, out. Travis Kelce, sub-market deal for what he is. Mahomes, sub-market deal for what he is. Nick Bolton will probably end up taking a sub-market deal for what he is. That's what they do. Now, what would be just absolutely hilarious to me is if they worked something out behind closed doors like, all right, we're signing the deal at 6. You can put it on Twitter at 8:22. And then
run out.
Here comes 9-5.
And then
that
you
would
just
be
have the glass break.
100% Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Can they do that, though? I guess they can. He's on the active roster.
Contract.
He's under contract. So
there's nothing that precludes
at
you from
any
doing it.
moment.
He doesn't have to sign the deal.
That's true.
He can just decide at 6:30 tonight, hey, you know what? I want to play.
He will.
I want to play.
You're not going out there without signing that thing. I'm going to sign it on the way out the tunnel. You meet me in the tunnel, and I will, Brett, you bring me that contract, I'll sign it in the tunnel as I run out.
I don't think he has to sign the deal. I really don't.
I mean,
you
would.
just got
You
got
because if you got
hurt
hurt in that game without signing it, then you don't get it, right? I mean, you would protect yourself.
I love that narrative of guys just constantly get hurt and they go from making $30 million a year to making $6.
Well, I mean, if I agree to pay you $28 million and you don't sign that contract and you immediately go out and get hurt, I'm not giving you the 28. Like, that's negotiation time.
If something happened to Chris Jones, God forbid, we don't forecast injury. So
No,
let's say he decided he wanted to wax surfboards. And whilst doing that, he had an unfortunate encounter with a jellyfish, and his ACL was a little dicey. Come March of next year, he's still going to get $28 million a year because he's still Chris Jones, and that ACL just really doesn't mean as much now as it did 5 years ago.
Yeah, maybe so. He said he'd be ready to go if he gets the pay raise. Everybody, has been jumping down his throat, talking about you're letting your teammates down. You signed a contract. You need to show up. All that same kind of thing.
Oh, can I address that? You're letting your team down.
Well, I mean, when he said it,
about this all day.
When he was asked about it yesterday, he said, "No, who am I letting down? Like, you go to your boss and you want a raise. Is that letting your team down?" And my only response to that is, well, if I wanted a raise, I'm not necessarily going to my boss and I'm not going to show up to work until you pay me. To me, that's a different scenario than just asking the boss for a raise. Yes, you're asking the boss for a raise, but you're also not there to support the product, right? If I just walked out the door and said, "Screw it, Jeremy, I'm not coming back until you give me more money."
Well, I don't have. I don't have any more money.
Right, but would that not be letting you down? Just me taking the hiatus from the show? Of course it would.
Well, I mean, I'd have to figure out how to hit 2 sets of buttons at one time, which would really greatly diminish the product.
I never begrudge a guy his money. However, what you said, Chris, I believe is untrue. That if you don't show up, yes, in a way, you are letting your teammates down because you're supposed to be there.
Oh, you're supposed to be there.
Yes,
supposed
you agreed to be there.
Supposed to be there? Yeah, that resonates with people that work at the Home Depot. I hate that narrative.
Why?
Well, name me another profession where you get 10 years to make your money. Sports talk, we could do this till we die. Sure. Skip Bayless has proven that on a daily basis.
Sure.
I'm not 100% sure he knows where he is half the time. Certainly doesn't apply to us, which was your example. People begrudge NFL football players because they want their money because they make a lot of it. What people that say that don't understand, their lifestyle's a lot more expensive than yours. Exponentially more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're frugal, it's way more expensive than yours. I don't begrudge the guy for chasing his money, and he's not letting anybody down. You're 53 independent contractors that just so happen to wear the same logo on your helmet. If you hate your money, fine. If you've got the leverage to do that, chase it. Brian Burns, same thing. You know exactly where you have Carolina. They don't have a person on that roster that can rush the passer that's not you. Go get your money.
Yep.
Don't care. You earned that amount of leverage. What I hate is when you get, I don't know, just since I pulled up the Kansas City Chiefs roster, let me find the most random name that I can think of. Matt Dickerson decides he's not happy with his deal. Awesome. The Lowe's called, and they have a vest that's waiting for you.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, don't care. Chris Jones is one of the 5 best pass rushers in his league. You're not letting anybody down. Go get your money. Because I got news for you. Unless it's Bill Parcells, they ain't going to be there to pick you up when you don't have any of it.
Yeah.
That felt good. I've been sitting on that rant all day.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Asheville into the weekend forecast right now. It looks like Saturday brings some of the heaviest widespread rain to the mountains of western North Carolina. Just isolated storms here tonight, 63 degrees. Isolated storms Friday, 82. And scattered storms with half-inch downpours on Saturday, high 75 degrees. We'll be in the 70s and 80s with thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. So great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville inside the Ingles studio. And this Chandler Jones situation with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, this is starting to feel like you're yelling at each other at the dinner table.
It just keeps getting weirder. So if you don't know anything about the situation, so Chandler Jones is unhappy being a Raider, which who can blame him for that?
Knew you had to take the shot.
Well, of course it is. This is all on Josh McDaniels and Dirty Dirk Ziegler. These guys are they're buffoons. They're absolute buffoons. The way that they have run this team is just crazy to me. Josh McDaniels is a terrible coach, and Chandler Jones is upset about it. He went on Twitter or Instagram last week, and or over the weekend, I guess, and he was posting things on his Instagram that were talking about how he's not happy, how he wanted Patrick Graham to be the head coach of this team. He doesn't like Josh McDaniels, and he doesn't like what did he call him? McDaniel Ziegler, I think is what he called him in one of his
something like that
in one of his Instagram posts here, and then he deleted all those. And there were some statements, but nobody gave us a window into what was actually going on here. He's been away from the team for a quote-unquote personal matter, they say. And then he did it again last night, where he gets on Instagram and he starts posting things. I think there was a Bible verse that was posted, and he posted God is good all the time. And I guess that freaked out the Raiders, and they sent like a crisis response team person in Vegas to his house to check on him. And when they got there, this woman, Heather, of the CRT team, said, "You have to come with us because you're in danger." Which, obviously, Chandler Jones got a great kick out of. He posted her badge and some of the story on Instagram. And then he posted a text conversation between him and Josh McDaniels where he was apologizing for saying things in the media. This was from last month, where he said, "I didn't want to come off as rude and disrespectful or above you. I know my place. I just honestly felt those ways and thought that it was okay that I let you know. That's all. It's always love, brother." And then McDaniels responds with the Bill Belichick answer of a lot to work through. We'll let you know the timeline. Please be available if Dave or I or anyone else from the organization reaches out. And then that was the end of it. Well, Chandler has now taken that as, he doesn't even talk to me like I'm a human being. He talks to me like I'm a commodity, which you can understand why that would rub a young athlete the wrong way. Now, I don't know where we stand with this, and I don't know if I expect Chandler Jones ever to show up for this team.
Allegedly, he wants to play this weekend. That's what he said on his Insta face. Aren't we so glad that we're to such a point that we get our news from social media? Isn't it better than just if you went to somebody with, I don't know, a microphone and told them instead of being all cryptic? Oh, yeah, it's better this way, though.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I hate social media with every fiber of my being. If
Chandler,
the Facebook servers just melted tomorrow, I think the world would be at least no less than 8 times better.
Oh, no, we would rip ourselves apart.
I would not.
Now, as a society, we're so tied to social media that if we didn't have it, it would just be constant rioting in the streets.
Oh, the intelligence of the average person would go through the roof, though. If I had $1 for everything somebody said, but I saw it online. Oh, yeah? Did the website that you saw it on start with a F and end with an Acebook? Because, see, they don't fact-check things unless they don't agree with them. Then they check them pretty hard. My story is about, it's actually ironic because Jonathan Welch in the YouTube comments said, shouldn't Tom Brady be fixing all this as the new co-owner? Tom is a busy man.
Yeah, he's got too much to do.
Because he's got a new job. No, he's not coming to CBS to fulfill that deal that he signed, which I am starting to more and more believe that I was right the day he signed it when I said he will never call not one game in this league. Takes a special kind of person to walk away from $370 million, but I could easily see Tom doing it. The reason is because he's got a new job with Delta Airlines. You might think, he's going to be an endorser. You know,
Yeah.
Delta's had some less than ideal things happen over the
it'll
last.
be like the Hertz thing.
You had Poo Plane, which just happened.
Not good.
That was less than ideal. Had a bunch of people go kooky madookie on airplanes. So sure, he'll be a great spokesman. No, he is their strategic advisor. According to the press release, Delta cited Brady's teamwork, performance, and perseverance, and that he will advise Delta on training and teamwork tools for employees. He will also help with marketing and customer engagement, as well as support Delta in its work in communities. That is the most Bill Clinton, whole lot of words that didn't say squat that I've ever seen in my life.
I know exactly what this is, and now it makes me want to get a hold of somebody in the Delta organization. Can I get those training videos? Because that's part of this deal.
No doubt.
Like, this is going to be Tom Brady. Like, all new hires to Delta have to, like, the bag checkers have to sit down in a room and listen to Tom Brady talk about how I won 7 Super Bowls because we were all had a plan and everybody was goal oriented.
Everybody knew their job. And my job as the quarterback of the New England Patriots is a lot like yours, checking people's shoes at the TSA line.
Also part of the deal, he will appear in X amount of commercials over the next 5 years.
It's so stupid. Like, Tom Brady doesn't know anything more about flying than I do.
No.
As a matter of fact, I
it's
can
all
make
about
the
leadership.
argument that I know more than he does because I guarantee you I've flown more commercial than he has.
You may be right about that.
It's just dumb. It's more airlines doing airline things.
Hey,
let's bring in Tom Brady to write our instruction manual.
Mm-hmm.
Does he know anything about planes? No. Does he know anything about flying? No. He's Tom Brady.
I remember when he signed the deal with, I think it might have been the Hertz deal that he signed, and they didn't, and it wasn't a spokesman deal. It was like brand ambassador or something.
Well, brand ambassador is another term.
Yeah, but it was more than that.
Brand ambassador is not more than that. That's exactly what it is.
No, but the deal was like showing up at seminars and things like that, and like the Hertz banquets and stuff. To me, it sounds exactly the same as this.
They specifically said this is not an endorsement. He is actually helping us in the day-to-day of Delta.
Just rallying the troops.
Ugh.
Ready to provide.
At least
you
he's
with
not
great
going to be on the
service.
Manning cast. I don't need that. I really don't. Did you see the little trailer video they put out about that?
It was brilliant. We're trying out somebody new. The Kirk Cousins bit was
the
great.
Kirk Cousins bit was awful. Kirk Cousins he's the only human that I feel like you're acting human and you're not. Like you're just reading your own line and you still sound, stop being weird. Can you not read your own line like a human? It's like Gary Busey.
I don't understand what your deal with Kirk Cousins is. Is it the too clean thing? Is that it? Is this the same? Is this the same thing that you had against Tim Tebow? Like somewhere there's a skeleton in that guy's closet that we're all going to find out about.
Skeleton?
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be a stake in its forehead.
Right.
It's not going to be good.
I get that feeling from most people who diss Kirk Cousins, especially over the quarterback show. Like, Kirk Cousins is just a dude. Like, well, yeah, I mean, he's just a normal guy who can play football really well.
He's very far from a normal guy. He's not normal. He has to recharge his batteries when he goes. He doesn't sleep. He just puts himself on the charger.
I don't understand the hatred.
Yeah, I walked away from that quarterback doc. I like Kirk Cousins less. Like Brittany Mahomes, way less. And still trying to figure out how you got to Marcus Mariota.
Well, I believe that's why they can't fill the roster this year. I don't know who they've got in line. If you haven't seen this, so Omaha Productions and Peyton Manning, he came out yesterday or day before and said, look, we're like a couple of days away from the season starting, and I don't have a third quarterback for this year's quarterback series on Netflix. And my first thought was, well, it's probably because you trotted Marcus Mariota out there like a lamb to slaughter in that documentary. Because it was just stupid. To me, it was completely useless. You followed around a story that you know was going to tank. There was no chance that was going to be a feel-good story. And what happened? 10 weeks into the season or whatever it was, Marcus is irrelevant. And then you just got to make stuff up about his next chapter. Oh, this is all about him, him and spending time with the baby.
Well, he also chose to just disappear from the team,
of course he did.
Name me any other player that's ever done that. I got demoted and I just disappeared. You said, of course he did, like that was normal.
Yeah, why would you not?
Name me one other time that's ever happened.
I don't know.
Why would you not do that? Because it's career suicide?
His career was over anyway.
I disagree.
I was surprised that Philadelphia even signed him.
I'm not going to lie, I was too. But your dismissal, you're saying that documentary made him look that way? No, he made himself look that way. I'm going to go have a surgery that I didn't tell you about the week you bench me. That's on you. That doesn't have anything to do with Peyton or Omaha or this documentary.
But that was the goal, was it not? Was to have the superstar story, the middle of the road story, and the trash story.
The way I understood it, they were in the same boat last year of not a ton of guys wanted to do this. They got Mahomes on board early. Then they really struggled to get somebody else. Now they're going through the same guys that told them no last year, and they're telling them no again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that has anything to do with Marcus Mariota. More has to do with quarterbacks don't want you in their face. If anybody should understand that, it would be Peyton Manning.
Right.
I don't need you seeing all of the things I do.
At this point, maybe they're just on the hunt for anybody who will show up or allow them to show up and film the season. But the first thought I had was they're looking for that tragedy story. And every other guy went, no, I saw how that made Marcus look last year, and I'm not doing that. Like I would be shocked if we didn't find out that they immediately went to Baker Mayfield and said, let us make you the third quarterback this year. And he went, not a chance.
So far, he is not on the list of ones that said no.
Really? Interesting.
Sam Howell, however, is on the list of ones that said no. Which really kind of, to me, it kind of goes to you wanted a high end, you wanted a mid tier, and then you wanted a, we'll see what happens.
I get that way more than wanting Marcus Mariota trying to salvage his career. Of course it is.
It's a different story. I don't need to see another vet do that.
But there's no way that I would do that if I was Sam Howell.
He's one of the ones that I was shocked. I was shocked that you wouldn't. As popular as that was, I probably would have.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at the brand side of it, I understand it from a football standpoint. I've got other things I need to do.
That's my point. I need to focus on starting my career. I don't need these guys following me around with cameras 24/7.
Yeah, and
because I've got enough of those.
And I'm a marketing guy going, you could be a star. Because you're a good-looking kid that was a fifth-round pick, and I'm already seeing comparisons to a few other people that you should probably have done that.
Okay, all right.
I also find
I'm off base.
I also find it completely laughable that television cameras would really throw you off. I don't buy that. I never have.
Not at all.
It wouldn't throw me off in the least. You come in here and record me all day long. It is not going to change one thing that I do. I'll probably forget you're here more often than not and start talking to myself or doing something completely insane.
Maybe eventually you will. Plus, I mean, these guys are used to having cameras around, right? Aren't their cameras always rolling?
Yes.
Wherever you are.
I mean, that's the other part. Every one of these teams has their own social media channel.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got cameras filming you constantly.
You come around to every
What's the
corner.
difference in that one?
Yep, you come around to every corner, and there's a camera.
A couple of people that I'm close with in the Jets organization, they have said that about Hard Knocks. We made this huge thing about it. The Hard Knocks guys stand directly beside the One Jets Drive guys every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And it took about a week before we went, there's really not much of a difference here, except we don't control that narrative.
Right.
We do control One Jets Drive. What Hard Knocks does, that's on them.
And that's why they shut them out of the locker room or shut them out of the out of the cuts and the meeting rooms and stuff like that because they didn't want that. And you can't begrudge a team for not wanting to put that process out there.
I do love that they showed the Xavier Gibson making the team, though. That was pretty fantastic.
That was a good one. And saw that he got listed as the starting kick returner.
That's why he made the team.
Him or Mecole Hardman.
It's Xavier Gibson.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We got football tonight, which means Jeremy's got bangers for you. Green on Green is coming up next. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With White Haze, Mean Green, Peach Perfect, and Scary Berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer. Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community. One that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on to WWNC.com and go to contest, and you can sign in to make your picks. Each weekly winner wins a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. Make your picks now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Win your way to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival and $1,000.
Oh, man, that is great.
You'll be there.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Having the time of your life is more rewarding than ever when you visit any MGM Rewards destination nationwide. Dine, stay, play, and earn on all of it. Details at MGMRewards.com. Subject to earning and redemption limitations applicable to certain purchases and in certain states.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, we return to Reynolds High School as Watauga comes in to take on the Rockets. The Pioneers are 3-0 on the season. It'll be another tough non-conference test before Reynolds starts conference play next week. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show is at 7 with a kick of 7:30. On ESPN 1400, Tuscola is back at home hosting Swain. The Mountaineer pregame show starts at 6:30. The best high school coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
Coffee closes on me.
Get him the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Oh, I'm like a kid on Christmas, and I got all the wonderful presents from Football Claws. This is Greene on Greene, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. First game of the NFL season, and you get a banger. Kansas City Chiefs, reigning NFL champions, at home hosting the Detroit Lions. Kansas City, 4.5-point favorite, over under 53.5. Let me start with the easier part of this. No Chris Jones, Detroit's defense is grossly overrated, and Pat Mahomes is out to prove a point. 53.5 might be where we're at after 3 quarters. It certainly won't be where we're at after 4. So take the layup, go over 53.5. Now, for who wins? To me, Kansas City's just a far superior team, whether Travis Kelce plays or not. I don't care if it's Noah Gray. I don't care if Isaiah Pacheco plays. There's been some injury issues there, but he wasn't on the last injury report. It doesn't really matter. Kansas City has proven over the years that we can just trot out whoever's on this roster, and old Pat's going to figure out how to do it. And he'll do it tonight. Because that Detroit secondary is overrated. Yes, they made additions, but it's still not particularly good. And he's going to have his way. So I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs minus the 4.5. I'll say this is a 2-touchdown spread. I don't think this game is going to be as close as a lot of people think. For more on all things football, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Asheville into the weekend forecast right now. It looks like Saturday brings some of the heaviest widespread rain to the mountains of western North Carolina. Just isolated storms here tonight, 63 degrees. Isolated storms Friday, 82. And scattered storms with half-inch downpours on Saturday, high 75 degrees. We'll be in the 70s and 80s with thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Summer days getting shorter and business to-do lists getting longer? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Fantasy football fans, the NFL season is here, and now is the time to do your homework by listening to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. Come hang out with me, Marcus Grant, and my pal Michael F. Florio as we help you optimize your draft strategy to have the best roster in the league heading into Week 1.
For a smart, fun, and entertaining path to winning your league, the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast is the show for you. Subscribe now and listen to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Sportsocracy.
One thing that you're going to have to remember, one most important factor, is to protect your quarterback, me.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Chiefs kick off the new NFL season at home tonight against the Lions. The reigning champs are without defensive end Chris Jones, who wants a new contract, and maybe without tight end Travis Kelce with a hyperextended knee. ESPN's Troy Aikman believes this is a tough game for the Lions.
It's still going to be a monumental task for them to go on the road, defending Super Bowl champs, playing on the road like that. I always feel like the Super Bowl champ comes into Week 1 still riding that high off of the Super Bowl, and they're hard to beat that first week of the season.
Troy Aikman, Buccaneers wideout Mike Evans still hoping for a new deal by Saturday. If not, he says there'll be no negotiations during the season. The Bucs play their opener Sunday on the road against the Vikings. More social media blasts targeted at the Raiders from defensive end Chandler Jones. Jones says the Raiders sent someone from a crisis response team to his home. He missed multiple training camp practices for undisclosed reasons and earlier said he no longer wanted to play for the Raiders.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And it is the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. And, of course, we're heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, live or on demand. Take us with you everywhere you go. It is a Thursday afternoon. It is, thank God, football season. We got the NFL kicking tonight, but we got to talk some college football because those North Carolina Tar Heels, they did a number last week on the South Carolina Gamecocks, and joining us as always in the second hour of the Thursday program, Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. And Jones, so we talked about the defense and what a question mark it was. Not a question mark for the South Carolina game, apparently, though, because rolled up, 9 sacks in that game?
Yeah, Tank, and great to be with you. It certainly was an impressive performance, right? I mean, we sat here and we talked about the fact that the Tar Heels needed to be more disruptive defensively. That's what it felt like was the number one thing that needed to be shown for this defense to show some steps forward. And gracious, they answered that in full ways on Saturday against South Carolina. 16 tackles for loss, 9 sacks in the game, and just a dominant performance up front. Now in college, sacks count towards the rushing total, but, to also hold South Carolina to -2 yards rushing as a team, it really made the Gamecocks one-dimensional as that game went on, and Spencer Rattler's a terrific quarterback and was still able to do some good things. But that defense answered the call in a really important way. And I think also, Tank, just in general, every talking point that Mack Brown had for his team in the offseason, whether it was be more physical running the football, be more physical and efficient in the red zone, be better on third down, even though Carolina was good in that way last year, be better defensively in the red zone. Everything he talked about, in addition to that growth defensively, Carolina showed that on Saturday night. And now it was the deciding factor in that particular game, but now they want to be able to show that it's a consistent thing, that it wasn't just 1 week, and they'll try to do that coming up this week against Appalachian. But what an impressive performance for Carolina in that matchup with the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I heard a lot of, is Carolina's defense that good, or is South Carolina's offensive line that bad? And I really don't know how you. I understand the question on some level, but that Tar Heels defense didn't do that to FCS teams last year. So
right, yeah, and I do think my guess is that South Carolina isn't where it wants to be on the offensive line right now.
Obviously,
but we'll see that hash out as the year goes along. But to your point, Carolina still had to go do it, and the most sacks the Tar Heels had in a game last year was 3. They had said, we talked about this last week, they had 17 the entire season. And so to put up not just, it's not like they had 4 in this game. They had 9 sacks. That's an enormous number.
Yep.
And right now, obviously small sample size, but yeah, Carolina leads the nation in tackles for loss and in sacks. And for them to have that type of performance, you do that against, air, that's still pretty impressive. And so it was a big step forward for Carolina. And now for the Tar Heels, the key is, can you do it again? Now, are you going to have 9 sacks and 16 tackles for loss? No, probably not, because that's such a gaudy number. But can you still do the same things? Can you still make it really hard to run the football against you? Can you still get disruptive plays in the backfield and put the other team behind the chains on a relatively consistent basis? If you can continue to do those type of things regardless of opponent, then you can really have a high-quality defense. And now, take it wasn't perfect. Spencer Rattler still threw for 340 yards and had a high completion percentage. But I think also he's one of the better quarterbacks that the Tar Heels will see all year. And so to be able to at least establish that you have that ability of disruption, I think is a big step forward for Carolina, and one that they are eager to try to build off of.
I would agree. I still had some questions about the back half of the defense with Xavier Leggett. I don't want to take anything away from the kid because he had a phenomenal game, but he was just eating the corners alive, and so that is still a question for the defense. And I guess I got to take my hat off to you too, because I asked you who's the next person on the Carolina defense that's going to become the household name this year. And I believe the name you gave me was Kamen Rucker. And then he ended up being college football's best defensive player.
Well, and he's had a terrific training camp. Kamen's been a guy that I feel like's been on the cusp of breaking out. He's had some really good moments. He's always, there's no doubt his energy and effort level is always there. What I thought was really interesting is, I talked to Kamen in the locker room for the network after the game, and one thing he said to me was, I've never felt more confident as a player. And he said not necessarily confident in his abilities, but it was confident as far as understanding how he fit in with what Carolina was trying to do defensively, confident in where he was supposed to be at all times. Some of that, I think, is that, in the past for Carolina, he's played multiple positions, whereas now they've got him focused on one, which I do think obviously is going to make you more confident and comfortable. And so when you're an older player who now has got some of that confidence, not just in your ability, but your confidence in where you fit in, and then you also have some obvious skill sets with his ability to rush the passer, that's a terrific combination, and you saw that with Kamen in that game. Now, I will also say, that Carolina, DeAndre Boykins being hurt and out for the season at that what Carolina calls the star position, which is essentially its nickelback position, that did cause some shuffling of the deck in the secondary. And so Elijah Huzzy from East Tennessee State, moved down from corner to that star spot, which forced Carolina's 2 starting corners to be Tayon Holloway, who again is another young player the Heels really like, and Marcus Allen. And so you're looking at a redshirt freshman who had never taken a snap in college and a sophomore who was, I think, making his third career start. And so that's a very young group back there. And so the Tar Heels will need those guys to continue to progress, particularly Holloway got picked on some by South Carolina as that game went along. And so the Tar Heels will have to have those guys continue to get better. And there's no better friend to a corner than pressure up front, because it causes all the things rush throws, tip throws, things like that make your coverage just that much better. And so, again, not a complete performance, not a perfect performance, but gosh, there was so much growth on that defensive side. It's hard not to be excited for Carolina in that way.
It feels so great to talk about the defense in a positive manner after the the struggles, I'll say it, politically correct again, that they had down the stretch of last season. Let's switch sides of the ball, talk about the offense. So I thought it was a fine performance from the offense. Drake May was as advertised. You'd like to let him have maybe a couple of more targets to play with. Is he going to get maybe one of those back this week? Because I know the Tez Walker thing is still unresolved.
Well, actually, Tank, just before you called me, the Tez Walker thing got resolved. And unfortunately for Carolina, he has been ruled ineligible for the entire season. And so both Mac Brown and Bubba Cunningham, literally happened a minute before you and I came on the air for this segment. Both Mac Brown and Bubba Cunningham sending out some extraordinarily strongly worded comments about their thoughts on the decision. From the Carolina perspective, let's just talk about straight on the field. That hurts because you're taking away the guy that I think was going to be the clear number one receiver for Carolina. You hope to get Nate McCollum, who's struggling with a lower body injury, the Georgia Tech transfer. You hope to get him back sooner rather than later. I mean, this is a guy that was number 5 in the ACC in total receptions a season ago, and this is no negative towards Georgia Tech. I mean, the Jackets beat Carolina last year, but he wasn't playing with a quarterback the quality that he will play with in Drake May here in Chapel Hill. And so Nate McCollum will help Carolina. The now definitive answer on Tez Walker, though, hurts. Where I think you see, Kobe Paysour can do it. You've seen that he is a guy that is a legit ACC-level wide receiver. The Tar Heels need somebody else to step up on the outside, and whether that's Andre Greene, whether that's J.J. Jones, whether that's Gavin Blackwell, who unfortunately had a couple of big drops in that game against South Carolina. Now he came back and made a big catch for 37 yards that set up a touchdown. But you've got to have one of those guys step up for you on the outside, because at least my impression is that when McCollum is healthy, Paysour probably moves to the outside a little bit more. You let McCollum play in that slot, but you've got to find somebody else on the outside. And again, all those names that I mentioned, Greene, Jones, Blackwell, there's some talented freshmen too, but the three, Greene, Jones, and Blackwell, particularly Blackwell and Jones, have played a lot of football for Carolina, and they've been solid contributors. But the Tar Heels need them to take a step forward and be more than that. They need them to be game changers at that position, and guys that you can count on every single week. And so that's a blow for Carolina on the field. Off the field, it's just a total lack of common sense decision. And again, Tank, I'm sure you'll address these statements by Mac and by Bubba here in your next segment. And I've only kind of perused them just because I was in the car driving when they came out. But it just absolutely, I believe it was Bubba who used the term, it erodes the public's faith in the leadership of the NCAA. It's just a completely tone-deaf decision. It's the wrong decision for the individual, and certainly for Carolina as a team, it's one that hurts them. And so just a disappointing afternoon in that regard, to be sure, for Carolina.
I did not realize that you could lose more faith in the NCAA. But that's me saying that. That's my own personal opinion, and yeah, we'll be discussing that after we let you go here and get more on that. That really ticks me off. But when it comes to Mac and the team, we hate it, but we got to move on. We got to focus on this week. And Appalachian State, that was the big shocker at the beginning of the season last year, where you really got the clue of, there are massive problems with this defense. As we had that 125 points put up total in that game between Carolina and the Mountaineers. What's different about Appalachian State this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, first of all, what a crazy game that was. You remember the Tar Heels led by 3 scores going into the fourth quarter. And so you really felt like at that point that Carolina had really done some good things that day. The App led early 7-0, but the Tar Heels had really controlled the game after that until you get to that fourth quarter where it was, you should have been playing the Benny Hill music underneath the Tar Heel defense in that particular quarter. App scored 40 points. They had more than 300 yards of offense in a single quarter. It was ridiculous. And Carolina had some self-inflicted wounds. They had a fumble offensively that gave the ball right back to App at one point. Remember, they ran back a kickoff for a touchdown in like the one time ever you didn't want to do that because it was an onside. Carolina could have taken a knee and finished out the game, but instead they ran it back for a touchdown to go up 8, which kept the door open for Appalachian. Tar Heels had 7 penalties in that one quarter. It was a combination of just some unique and weird type of plays. There were some enormous mistakes by Carolina, both in how they were defending and then from the penalty aspect. And, of course, Appalachian did some good things as well. They had to go out there and make the plays, which they did. Now, I do think it's funny, Tank, we're talking about that like Carolina lost the game. The Tar Heels did win the game, 63-61. It was the highest scoring game as far as the two teams combined in Tar Heel history. But to your point, that quarter, and Mac Brown's talked about this, that quarter set the tone defensively for Carolina for the year. It set the talking points and the narrative for Carolina for the season, that they were not a good defensive team. Carolina, I do think, improved some defensively as the year went along, but it never was good enough. And so Carolina's aware of that. They've certainly been reminded of that this week. They've been reminded of the mistakes they made and the narrative that it set. And so I do think Carolina's attention will fully be on this game, and the defense will be fully engaged. Now, to better answer your question, what's different about Appalachian State? They're totally new at the quarterback position. Chase Bryce, who was at, this was before the NCAA wouldn't let you transfer multiple times. Started at Clemson, went to Duke, then went to Appalachian. And so he was a veteran guy that was a quality player, and he had a great day that day. Appalachian, new quarterback. They initially went with a guy named Ryan Berger. He was actually hurt near the end of the first half of their season opening game against Gardner-Webb. So they brought in a junior college transfer, Joey Aguilar, and Aguilar played well. He really sparked them. He threw 4 touchdowns. He was mobile, made some big plays with his legs. But having said all of that, Appalachian trailed Gardner-Webb late in the third quarter last week and eventually forced the running Bulldogs into 3 consecutive turnovers that helped, and then Aguilar's spark offensively helped. I do think the personnel is significantly different for App, particularly defensively. They struggled some against Gardner-Webb through the first 3 quarters before forcing those turnovers, which really helped. It's an older team in the sense that they have older players, but they haven't necessarily all played a bunch in the past, particularly defensively. You've got some guys who have just moved up the depth chart naturally. You have a couple transfers that are coming in for the first time, and so App is trying to figure out where it is. I will say Appalachian's had a terrific program, of course, FCS national titles. They've been more often than not right there at the top of the Sun Belt. But I think people forget Appalachian's coming off a 6-6 year. They had that weird game against Carolina. They went and beat Texas A&M, had game day come to campus and won on the Hail Mary, and so against Troy. And so I think if you're a casual follower of college football, you probably think, oh, yeah, App had another great season. For them, they didn't have a season up to the standard that they wanted. 6-6 and didn't go to a bowl game because 2 of their 6 wins were against FCS opponents. And so this is a big bounce-back year attempt for Appalachian. They'll be motivated. They don't get to come to Keenan very often. That will motivate them. But I think the Tar Heels will be plenty motivated as well.
It's going to be look, I feel like this team is special, and after seeing the defense show up the way it did against the South Carolina Gamecocks, high pressure situation like that, I think we're off to a rolling start, and Appalachian State is just the next speed bump in the way of this Tar Heel team. We will be talking when we come back from the break about Mac Brown's. I mean, he went full on in on the NCAA, and we will give you that next. Jones, we appreciate you taking out the time for us, sir, and we'll talk to you at a new time next Thursday.
Yeah, call you a little earlier in the day next week, Tank. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we're talking about a terrific Tar Heel performance coming up on Saturday.
I know we will be. Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. You can hear him right here on ESPN Asheville on Saturday evening. It is a 5:30 start. It is a 5:15 start for the game, hour before the pregame will start here on ESPN Asheville. And you will hear North Carolina take on the Appalachian State Mountaineers. If you're not, maybe you don't want to just stick around the house and listen to it or watch it on television, you want to be in the building, call us right now, 225-4988. 225-4988. If you want a pair of tickets to go see the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Appalachian State Mountaineers this weekend. It is ESPN Asheville, and we'll be right back.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Heavy traffic volume and delays 26 West End eastbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road eastbound near Pond Road, delays due to an accident. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Biltmore Forest area and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. On the Charlotte Highway, no problems. I'm Linden Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
Paid for by the Affordable Connectivity Program through GetInternet.gov.
What does the Affordable Connectivity Program sound like? It sounds like a student doing their homework online.
If X equals 4.
Eligible households save $30 a month on internet. Like the sound of that? The ACP. Sign up, connect, and save at getinternet.gov.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo!
Instant winner.
Here.
Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present!
Every single time.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Young floats it downfield. It's caught by Thielen near the pylon. Touchdown!
Hey, Panther fans, this is Anish Shroff. Join me, Jake Delhomme, Jim Zoki, and Sharon Thorsland this Sunday as the Panthers travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons in the 2023 season opener. Pre-game at noon, kick at 1 on the Carolina Panthers radio network.
Panther football live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair!
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and look, the NCAA has very few fans left. There are very few people that believe that the NCAA is serving their greater purpose.
I would argue they're not serving a purpose. But then again, none of this surprises me.
I mean, it's harder. My problem with this is the pick and choose.
That's what we've always done.
Right.
This goes back to Jerry Tarkanian said this in the 90s. UCLA does something wrong and San Jose State goes on probation. Mm-hmm. It's the way it works. Right. Now, I'm going to say something that I didn't hear either of you say in that interview with Jones Angel. This is a step in the right direction. Let me explain why.
Okay.
Cracking down on the second transfer thing, it had to happen at some point.
Yes, it did.
Because this had become the Wild Wild West. JT Daniels is playing at his fourth school right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my problem. Why does this not fall on him?
Bingo. What is the difference between the scenarios of these guys who school hop every year, and why is Tez Walker seem to be the one that has been singled? I mean, he hasn't been singled out. There were several guys that have gone through this. This is just obviously the closest one to us and the one that we know the most about. And it's also,
I would argue, it's the most high profile.
Of course it is, because this is a starting wide receiver expected to play for a top 25 team, and it's...
Here's the thing I don't understand. All right, so you have a problem with this being his second transfer. He didn't play at the first school. They canceled their season over COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that count? This is more of what the NCAA does. All right, I told you as soon as this came out of Pat McAfee's mouth, what feels like forever ago, but I think it was roughly 3 years ago, we're going to get to a point where these power broker schools look at each other and go, why do we need them?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly are they doing? Other than getting in our way and legislating what they choose to, they pick and choose their battles like a high school bully that's afraid to fight anybody in their weight class. I hate to say this, North Carolina is not one of the heavy hitters in college football. They're a B-tier program. It's the way it is. That's not me talking. That's not me throwing shade. It's not me throwing smoke. It's just the way it is. If Tez Walker played at USC or Ohio State or Michigan or one of those schools, you mark my words, he would be on a football field. He would have been on a football field last week. He would certainly be on one Saturday. And I dare anybody in this worthless institution to prove me different.
Right. It certainly doesn't do you any favors. When you look at the timeline of what happened, Tez Walker decided to transfer to Carolina, January the 9th. The rules and the crackdown on the two-time transfers, that rule got signed or put into place on the 11th. Somehow he's subject to that rule, even though he filed before the deadline. Before the rule changed, and I don't get that at all.
And even with that, I could be okay with that because it had been discussed, except for the fact I can give you no less than 15 examples off the top of my head of guys in the exact same position, mm-hmm. JT Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing, and you're not.
Plus, when we've had this battle in the past, how do you get a waiver from the NCAA? Hardships, right? You gotta make a claim. Well, he's got a sick grandmother. He's from Charlotte. He's got a sick grandmother who can't leave the state to watch football games or whatever, and he wanted to be closer to the family so she could see his games and he could help take care of her and all that kind of stuff.
It wasn't just he wanted to be close to her. He's her primary caregiver.
Well, there you go.
And was all the way throughout high school.
Well, there you go.
This is just one of those. This is why I've said the NCAA is one of those institutions that you have an amazing product. And you do everything in your power to screw it up on a weekly basis. I'm going to tell you a total aside story. And this has been, I'll tie it together at the end of it, I promise.
Okay.
Because it's been rattling around in my head since Jones said this a few minutes ago. SMU is coming to the ACC. Do you know how much money they raised from just their boosters to facilitate this move?
How much?
Take a wild guess.
I don't know, $20 million.
Yeah, multiply it by 10. It's $200 million.
Wow.
That's what they've already raised that's already in the coffers.
Nice.
And their power broker boosters said, it's only a couple $100 million. That's nothing to us.
Mm-hmm.
There are probably 50 schools in America, North Carolina included, that have boosters that level. That's what you're going to have to do to get away from the NCAA. And it's time to do it.
Yep.
Because now the NCAA is not serving its purpose in any way. You allowed NIL to get completely sideways. You can't even get the video game licensed at this point because you're so stupid that virtually anybody with a lawyer that they didn't get off the side of a bus terminal knows they can beat you in court. Caleb Williams has literally already said this. I can't tell you I'm going to be in the game because I know I can go to court and beat them because I'm worth more than the backup long snapper at Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
And why would you do that? If you had any fear of the NCAA, you would not say that. Reigning Heisman Trophy winner, you would not say that out loud.
And here we go further with not having any fear or respect for the NCAA. It's one thing to come from Caleb Williams, but it's another to come from a Hall of Fame coach who's won at the highest level of this sport. When Mack Brown comes out and releases the statement that he did, burning the NCAA to the ground, to me that's a massive statement. It starts out, we're absolutely crushed to learn that Tez Walker's eligibility has been denied for this season and he won't be able to play. I don't know that I've ever been more disappointed in a person, a group of people, or an institution than I am the NCAA right now. It's clear that the NCAA is about process, and it couldn't care less about the young people it's supposed to be supporting. Plain and simple, the NCAA has failed Tez and his family, and I've lost all faith in its ability to lead and govern our sport. That is a Hall of Fame, championship ring-bearing head coach who just called the NCAA onto the carpet. He went full Game of Thrones, walking through the streets with the bell in his hand going, shame, shame, shame. In fact, that's how the statement ends. Shame on you, NCAA. Shame on you. He went on to say in the statement, don't ever come to me again and tell me that the NCAA cares about the mental health of their student athletes. Because that was the main reason stated for Tez coming to Carolina. For his transfer was to be closer to his ailing grandmother. There have been several stories about how he struggled with the mental pressure of, one, being away from her, and two, now the fight with the NCAA that has first been denied, then got appealed, got drugged through the media, and then now the ultimate decision is the NCAA put up the middle finger and said, screw you. We don't care about the deadlines. We don't care if we instituted the rule after he transferred or what. Tez Walker cannot play for you this year. He does still have 2 years of eligibility, so he'll be able to fulfill that at Carolina next year and the year after. But this could be a back-breaking moment of, well, we know we've got Mack Brown on the let's leave the NCAA behind thing, and maybe it starts to snowball even worse than it already has. I mean, when Jones said that, the public faith has eroded in the NCAA, I didn't know it could get any worse. But apparently it just did.
Oh, it can get worse.
Well, it most definitely did for Tar Heel fans. And Frankie Cleary said in the YouTube comments, foil hat time. Is this the NCAA getting back at UNC for the previous scandal? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, that has nothing to do with this because, hey, Ask all those NC State fans how they feel about is this fair? Does this satiate your revenge narrative here for the AFAM scandal? No, it's the NCAA is an absolute feckless organization.
They're a joke.
It's ran by idiots.
They're a joke. And there's a report out right now. This came out this morning that said Jim Harbaugh will take any offer he can get in the NFL to get away from college football because he is so tired of this institution. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The Tez Walker thing, to me, there's more of a tug on your heartstring. The Jim Harbaugh thing is every bit as stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's every bit as stupid. And yet we just keep accepting it. You just keep showing up and turning on your television sets on Saturday morning at noon. And you're going to. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because it's the best thing we have going in sports that's not the NFL. And there's part of me that thinks that's where the NCAA is at, is that they're trying to find ways to make themselves actually feel relevant. Because they know they don't actually have any power. This is one of the few things you actually have the power to do. Because just think about what's changed in the last 10 years. 10 years ago, there was absolutely no way for a player to make money on themselves. The universities had no ability to fund a guy getting his bag. And they still don't. I'm sure. I'm sure Florida had nothing to do with that Gervon Dexter thing. I'm sure they didn't.
Right.
It's a joke. It's genuinely a joke. But the bad thing is this is the best steakhouse in town. This is like having the best steakhouse in town. You make the best steak. You've got the best salad. You've got the best steak sauce. And everybody in town wants to eat your steak, but you have the worst service. Eventually, that will catch up to you. It's just a question of do the power brokers in this sport have enough pull? The answer is yes. And do they have the desire? The answer is getting closer to yes.
Yep.
To break away from you.
Yep. They tried everything they could when it comes to North Carolina, trying to get Tez Walker to be ruled eligible for this season, but in the end, it all fell on deaf ears with the NCAA, who has decided no Tez Walker for the year. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. When we come back, we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Asheville into the weekend forecast right now. It looks like Saturday brings some of the heaviest widespread rain to the mountains of western North Carolina. Just isolated storms here tonight, 63 degrees. Isolated storms Friday, 82. And scattered storms with half-inch downpours on Saturday, high 75 degrees. We'll be in the 70s and 80s with thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side is slow between the French Broad River and Airport Road. In Inca Village, Sardis Road near Pond Road on the eastbound side, an accident. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. In Fletcher, Hendersonville Road, north and southbound, approaching Fanning Bridge Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, southbound, slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score big on sleep and savings during Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable beds and get a $300 instant gift, good towards pillows and more.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Sportsocracy, time to get weird, and there was an incident north of the Oregon Inlet in North Carolina on Wednesday where a boat ran aground on the Cape Hatteras National Seashore. About 7:30 a.m. There was no major freak storm that came out and swung it to shore or whatever. There's no details on why the ship ran aground. Was it having technical issues or mechanical issues? Was was the captain of the boat drunk? We don't know. But the most important thing, or the funniest thing about the story that stuck out to me, was the name of the 42-foot boat that wound up on the seashore running aground. Turn Back. Feel like you should have listened. If you're going to name your boat Turn Back, maybe you should know when danger is coming.
And that was a dad joke to the highest degree.
Indeed it was. It's my favorite.
My story is about our boss, Bob Iger. He came back as the CEO of Disney last year. Well, there's a report out now that he actually never left. And I'm not saying what I'm getting ready to say because we are dutiful members of the mothership.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this because I've actually been in this exact same situation, and it made me laugh when I read this. So Bob Iger left Disney in 2020. He was replaced by Bob Chapek. Came back in 2022. Well, apparently, Chapek never moved into Bob Iger's office because Bob Iger kept it even after he left Disney. You want to take a stab at why?
Why?
Because he had a private shower in his office that he would leave his mansion in Burbank, drive to the Disney Studios, take a shower in the shower in that office, and then leave.
For what purpose?
Because he loved his shower. They call him Bobby Two Showers. Now, this is the reason I wanted to tell this story, because there's a lot of people dragging him over. We didn't even let his replacement really replace him because he didn't give him the office. I had this exact same thing happen to me.
What do you mean?
I did not keep the office. I changed positions in a company.
Mm-hmm.
I had a shower in my office. Well, I would go to the gym at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I would come in, take a shower, and it allowed me to get to work earlier because I didn't have to go all the way home and then come all the way to the office.
Okay.
I showered in my office.
Okay. Bougie, but okay.
Oh, no, it's not bougie. Everyone, if you have the ability, you should do it. It's the greatest of all time thing that will ever happen to you.
I mean,
I miss it every single day.
Well, we have a shower here at the station that you could use.
Where?
Down in the bomb shelter in the old building. you can go down there and shower with the spiders.
There's a shower down there?
Yeah, there is.
What's the water? What are we talking about water pressure?
No, I don't even know that the water even works in it. I just think it's hilarious that there's a shower down there still.
Don't offer something because, I mean, look.
I mean, we can go down there if you want to, but I'm sure there's ghosts and critters.
Yeah, there's
definitely critters because we already had somebody complain that there was a death smell coming behind their desk.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the critters as much as I am a potential houseless friend that has inhabited.
Trust me, we'd have a bigger problem with that if they knew there was a shower down there.
Yeah, I just have to defend old Bobby Two Showers here. That was the golden age of my working life.
Bougie.
There were days that I would take 2. I'd take one in the morning before work, throw the suit on, go through the work day, and then change into comfortable clothes after a second shower after my day was done. There's nothing wrong with being clean.
No, there's nothing wrong with being clean. It just makes me think that you're up to something.
What do you mean I'm up to something?
I'm just saying, if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're having to take a couple of showers a day before they come home from work, that's going to raise some major red flags. Now, you were single, so it didn't matter.
I was about to say I wasn't in a relationship at the time.
I get it.
I'm married now, and I guarantee you, if Brian Hall would put a shower in this building, Amy would be all for it. And you want me to tell you why? Because I'm one of those people that, like, I listen to the radio in the morning in the shower. I do all of the things. So it is not real pleasant to try to sleep in a bedroom that is attached to the bathroom that I get ready in. Oh, yeah. They build one here, she'll be pushing me out the door. Yeah, do that. You can just go to the gym in the morning. I'll see you at night. It's fine.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of this from, the Mrs. Iger's standpoint of, wait, why you need a shower? What are you doing? Why are you being weird? You need that many showers in a day unless you're doing nefarious things.
Taylor M. said it's different, though, because you still work there at least, and he wasn't anymore. Now, I understand that. I do. The only defense of that is there have been a lot of times that I have gone, if I worked close to the old office, I'd just swing back in there,
just to see if I could take a shower.
It was great.
Can
it was
I
one
use
of those
the shower?
It was
That's
one
weird.
of those
Don't do that.
It was like a waterfall. It had like a waterfall head on. Oh, it was phenomenal.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It is a threadbare Thursday, along with being the most joyous day of the year, the kickoff of the NFL season tonight with the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. By the way, end of the hour, Jeremy's going to have some more bangers for you. He's got a 5 on it coming up with a parlay that might actually have a chance to hit tonight, so stay tuned for that.
And if it does, we're off to a doozy start. And if it doesn't, you're out $5 US doll hairs.
It is a threadbare Thursday, and we go to the YouTube comments here as Taylor M. said, Jeremy, I'm an LSU fan, and I feel that our season is over already. Am I being too dramatic?
Yes. 100%.
You lost to a top 5 team in this country.
You lost to the soon-to-be national champions.
Oh.
And you hung with them for a half.
I love how your derision. Look at that. And they were able to hang with us. So
that wasn't derision. That second half is what that team is capable of. And I got news for you. They're going to do it to a lot of people. Now, would I be a little alarmed at Jaden Daniels because he was not good in the second half? I would be. I would be a little alarmed with Malik Neighbors and a lot of different things that I saw there. But then I look at your schedule and go, you do realize there's not another team that you play that could hang with you before you go to Alabama, which is the first week of November. You play one game against a team that could even hold your jock straps, and that's at Ole Miss the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
They can score with you. They can't stop a nosebleed. So there's a great possibility that going into Alabama, you're going to be 7-1. Your one loss is to a team that has just boat raced its entire schedule.
Right.
That's not me being a homer.
It's a terrible schedule.
Their best chance to lose a game is that Clemson team that got just car ramrodded by a Duke.
Right.
So, hashtag no homer. That's just facts don't care about your feelings. So, no, I would not be worried. Rob Johnson in our YouTube comments asked, should he be worried about his Ohio State Buckeyes? Again, I'm going to say no. I wouldn't be. I mean, were they impressive against Indiana? No. But kind of the same thing I said about LSU. Who are you supposed to lose to?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you come out and go full dog water the next 2 weeks, you'll win by 60 combined.
Yeah.
Now, when you should be alarmed is if you come through that Western Kentucky game and you haven't seen them fully put their foot on a pedal yet, because you play a Notre Dame team that's not messing around.
Yep.
And they will get you if you let them.
And they'll hurt your feelings, too.
Yeah, they can.
They've got the offensive firepower to do it now with an actual quarterback.
Notre Dame is now in that high-end tier of teams that if you sleepwalk in against them, they will do to you what they did to Clemson last year.
Mm-hmm.
Feel real good about that Notre Dame over that I put out in May. I think it was May. And I said, I'm not backing down from this. And I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept doubling down on it every opportunity that I got.
Steven Towle in the comments says, Tank never had a dirty job. Okay, I mean, I see where you're going with that. If this were a construction site, like if you worked for a construction business and you were like the boss man and you had a shower in your office, I get that. You get dirty on the job site, you've been out sweating or something. We're talking about office jobs. Bob
that's
Iger.
all I've ever had.
I was going to say Bob Iger working in the upper echelon at Disney, being the chief up there, and Jeremy working in his cushy office for a phone company.
Yeah,
I don't see the need for a shower for those jobs.
That actually, I did have a shower in that office. That was after a couple moves, though. No, the one I was originally talking about was before that. That was I was still in sales. I was still an executive. But
I got you. Well, it's same thing.
One that I may or may not have an NDA with. So
you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Oh, I got a message, by the way. So apparently the signal dropped out on when I was trying to give away the tickets for the Carolina game.
Yeah, somebody's making a very loud noise out here at Radio Ranch, and apparently they hit something.
I think they're putting in a new power pole over there. At least they were working on that yesterday. And so anyway, we do have tickets available for the North Carolina Appalachian State football game this Saturday in Chapel Hill. I'll give the numbers again to give you an opportunity if you want to claim those. 225-4988. 225-4988. Give us a call now if you want to go see Chapel Hill or the Tar Heels take on Appalachian State in Chapel Hill this Saturday. And you'll hear it right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic time ago, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slowing between the Blue Ridge Parkway to Airport Road. In the Inca Village area, Sardis Road near Pond Road, an accident reported on the eastbound side. In the Avery Creek area, Bavard Road north and southbound is stop and go approaching Long Shoals Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each, and select notebooks are just 35 cents each. In-store only, offer ends 9/16, limit 30. School on, save on at Staples.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Linda, let's run vitals and measurements on Chairman Meow, and then...
Springtime is itchy skin time at Violet's Pet Clinic.
Oh, no. He seems to be very uncomfortable.
She needs more allergy vets to scratch appointments off her list.
Okay, let me see if I can find someone to get some steroid cream for him.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Miss that music, because there's nothing that says football more than parlays. If you're new to the show, in this segment, every single day of the football season, I'll have my favorite parlays that we put 5 on. You can take those to betus.com, use our promo code Sportsocracy. They'll give you a 125% deposit match on whatever your deposit is, so you can wager football with us all season long. And tonight, I'm starting off with a banger between the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. I already gave you Kansas City minus the 4.5 over 53.5. But let's add a little value to this. Anytime touchdown scorer. That means they can score at any time in this game. Give me Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jerick McKinnon. Whether Travis Kelce plays or not tonight, I'm not sure you're going to get a full dose of Isaiah Pacheco. That leads me to believe Jerick McKinnon is a really good wager to get in the end zone tonight. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who else is Detroit going to throw to? All the rest of their receivers are playing 5 on it. Over 299.5 passing yards for Pat Mahomes. Well, I don't think that requires a lot of explanation because the Detroit defense is not great and Pat Mahomes is. I also don't know how well they're going to run the ball because I don't know how healthy Pacheco is. But speaking of him, he is going to play, and I'm going over 45 rushing yards for him. I think it's a safe floor. It's an alternate line. It's not his actual Vegas line, so you're not catching a ton of value, but I think it's really safe. And finally, over 39.5 receiving yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a safe floor because, well, the Lions don't have many receivers. Jahmyr Gibbs was a guy they moved up for, and the best thing he does is catch the football. That'll take your $5 wager and turn it into $255 if I'm right. Your 7-leg parlay for the first game of the NFL season. Kansas City Chiefs minus the 4.5, over 53.5. Anytime touchdown scorer, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jerick McKinnon. Over 299.5 passing yards for Pat Mahomes, over 45 rushing yards for Isaiah Pacheco, over 39.5 receiving yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. That's plus 5,000. Take a $5 wager and turn it into 255 U.S. doll hairs.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Asheville into the weekend forecast right now. It looks like Saturday brings some of the heaviest widespread rain through the mountains of western North Carolina. Just isolated storms here tonight, 63 degrees. Isolated storms Friday, 82. And scattered storms with half-inch downpours on Saturday, high 75 degrees. We'll be in the 70s and 80s with thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic time go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slowing between the Blue Ridge Parkway to Airport Road. In the Inca Village area, Sardis Road near Pond Road, an accident reported on the eastbound side. In the Avery Creek area, Brevard Road north and southbound is stop and go approaching Long Shoals Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Valero. Start saving on the road with Valero's 100 Days of Summer. Get fuel-saving snacks, swag, and more every day all summer long. Only with Valero Pay Plus. Download the app and start saving right now. Additional terms and conditions apply.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
I heard about something called the Affordable Connectivity Program. It helps people save money on internet.
I don't have the internet, but I'd like to.
You should apply to see if you're eligible. You could save $30 a month.
Sign up, connect, and save at getinternet.gov.
The Sportsocracy.
This is G. Degaroff, voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The new NFL season kicks off tonight. The Super Bowl champion Chiefs hosting the Lions in Kansas City. The Chiefs are the favorite to win a second straight title at 6-1, according to Caesars Sportsbook. What about tight end Travis Kelce and his status for tonight? Chiefs CEO Clark Hunt.
I know he had a little bit of a setback the other day with a minor knee injury. We hope that he'll be able to go tonight. He'll be a game-time decision. But he's somebody who loves to compete, so I wouldn't bet against him being on the field tonight.
Clark Hunt on the NFL Network's Good Morning Football. He hasn't missed a game with an injury since his rookie season 10 years ago. The Vikings will sign safety Josh Metellus to a 2-year extension. Our Adam Schefter reports the deal is worth up to $13 million with $6 million guaranteed. Team USA plays Germany in the FIBA World Cup semifinals tomorrow. Germany is the only unbeaten team in the tournament at 6-0. That game is on ESPN2 at 8:40 a.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword music to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's music to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene. Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and we're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. See us everywhere you go inside the Ingles Studio on YouTube. TheSportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel once you're there so you can join us in the chat for this and each and every subsequent Threadbare Thursday throughout the football season. We'll have more YouTube comments to get here throughout the hour with topics that you want talked about on this wonderful kickoff day of the NFL schedule. But first, top of the third hour of the program, we got to do the daily draft. We're drafting guys, and Today we're gonna focus on fantasy football for this weekend. We haven't done a lot of run up to fantasy. I always feel like, hey, I know this is not for you, Jeremy, because you're all cued in on fantasy football 24/7. It seems like that and the gambling and the wagering on the games. But I always feel like I get so excited about the run up to the season, and then I just kind of forget about it, and then I get slapped in the face like today on the Thursday before the season starts. Or the Thursday that the season starts, and go, oh, yeah, I got a whole lot of lineups to set. So, favorite plays for week 1 in fantasy football is the daily draft. You going to give me first pick on this one?
Yeah, go ahead. Because there's a 0.0% chance you're taking my number 1 pick.
Okay, 0.0. That's a lot. That is quite a lot. Well, one of my favorites of the week that I wrote down earlier in the week was Travis Kelce against the Detroit Lions, but I don't know that that's going to happen. We still have him listed as a game-time decision tonight as he's dealing with a hyperextended knee that he suffered earlier in the week in practice. But I think my favorite play of the week is at wide receiver.
Yep, that's not the position I was going to say. So we've already eliminated the chance of me regretting this.
And it's for the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb against the New York Giants. Because I don't like the Giants secondary. And I feel like Dallas is going to come out in this game with their hair on fire trying to prove a point in this new era of Cowboys Mike McCarthy football. And I know Mike McCarthy, he wanted to run the ball. Yeah. But I don't know that there's anybody for the Giants that could stop CD.
Dory Jackson.
You think he can stop him? I know he can run with him, but I don't think he can stop him.
Not necessarily stop him. I'm just, I guess I'm a little confounded that that's your number 1 play of the week.
He is my favorite player of the week, yes.
Nobody else that you're higher on for the week than CD Lamb.
I have a few that are on my list here.
That are up there, but CD's that's your guy.
I won't be shocked to see him be the number 1 fantasy football player this week.
I can almost definitively say I would be completely stunned by that. I mean, last year, CD had 8 for 87 and a touchdown in the first Giants game. He had 106 and I don't know how many catches. 6 catches, 106. I mean, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily look at a Dory Jackson who I don't know how much he's going to shadow CD. I would say it's probably a good amount. I don't necessarily see that as the, oh my God, this is the best matchup that I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, if I was going to go that high, I would have gone Justin Jefferson against yo team that can't get to a quarterback to save their lives, and you don't shadow a receiver. So it's just, hey, Jay Jettis, which one you want to pick on right now? Because it's going to go bad.
He's going to get his. It doesn't matter.
This is going to go really, really, really bad.
But Carlton Davis, tell me about it again.
Yeah. I get it. It's fine. It was definitively not one of mine. I'm shocked, physically shocked, that your number 1 answer to this was not the guy who you have been banging the drum for all year long.
Mm-hmm.
I had already chalked up you were going to take him, so I was going another position.
Okay.
But now I get them both. My number 1 is Calvin Ridley, and it ain't close, even not nary a little bit. Let me go ahead. If you're playing in the battle for the belt, which you all should be, because it goes to help children, folks.
To be honest with you, I didn't think I had to take that this early.
It's the best matchup on the board. The Indianapolis Colts are playing me at corner. How is that not your number 1?
I thought you would go with like Justin Jefferson or.
Oh, yeah, because that's what Jeremy does. Jeremy takes the layup when we do these things. I give you the first pick just to make this easier. Yeah, but I can't even. I'm not even going to tell you who my other one was yet because I don't have to do it. Calvin Ridley is going to smoke the Indianapolis Colts like a honey ham.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't hate the idea of playing 2 Jaguars. I don't hate the idea of Travis Etienne. I'm not doing it together. Maybe I have one lineup with Ridley, one lineup with Ingram, one lineup with Travis Etienne.
I mean, yeah, if you're doing like a DFS lineup this week and you don't have a Jacksonville Jaguar, you're doing it wrong.
I'm not going to say you're doing it wrong. This is a full 15. I mean, this is a full slate.
Mm-hmm.
And the over-under on that Jags Colts game it's one of the higher ones on the board, but it's not Chargers Dolphins, which to me seems like the layup, which kind of steers me into my next selection.
Uh-huh.
Hey, what do the Los Angeles Chargers not do so good?
Stop the run.
Stop the run. Hey, name me a running back on the Dolphins roster that's not Raheem Mostert.
Devin A-Chain.
Yeah, he's coming off a shoulder, and he's going to have limited touches. Name me another one.
Well, Jeff Wilson's hurt, so he's gone.
Oh, but wait, there's not one. Do you know how good Raheem Mostert has been when he's gotten over 15 touches in a week? I'm going to tell you a stat and just wait for it to blow your mind. In every start that Raheem Mostert has had in the NFL where he got more than 15 carries in a game, he has never finished worse than the 20th best running back that week in his career. It's never happened. Now, if you dig really deep into that stat, you're going to realize that it hadn't happened a whole bunch of times. So that's one of those where I made the stat say what I wanted it to. This week, all of it. Give me all the Raheem Mostert.
Okay.
That was the first name I put in my DFS lineups because I want as many pieces of that as I can. And if you're curious, in terms of over-unders for this weekend, do you know how many games are within 5 points of Chargers-Dolphins?
How many?
It's one. It's one. And that one is Bengals-Browns, which I will be getting to momentarily. I feel like I've already won this, but proceed.
Proceed. Well, there's another wide receiver that I really like this week. And it's DK Metcalf. Because they're playing the LA Rams, and they're, again, who's playing corner for them? Jacoby Durant? Is he the Rams' best corner that they have right now?
Yes.
which doesn't really say much when you're going to have to take on DK Metcalf. That's another one that I would not be shocked if we're sitting here on, our wrap-up Monday, starts at noon on ESPN Asheville this Monday, when we're talking about just the unbelievable stat line of DK Metcalf because there was not a soul on that LA Rams defense that could catch up to him.
The only thing that scares me about that is do they jump out to a lead and it cuts his ceiling?
How they get there, though. They jump out to a 3-touchdown lead. It might be because DK had all of them.
You're on the wrong side of Seattle to me.
Really?
I'll say this, and I'll take him off my board. I won't take him.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Walker was really high for me. Really? Did you happen to see the Rams in the preseason? I understand it was backups. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I could have driven my car through holes that were opened up on that defense.
That's kind of why I wasn't on that.
See, I'm all over Kenny Walker. I will probably play whoever the running back is against the Los Angeles Rams every week of the season. And I'm not sure I even care who it is. I'm not sure if you told me James Conner got abducted by space aliens and I had to play Keontae Ingram, I'm pretty sure I would do that with a smile on my face.
Okay.
I mean, I understand what you said about DK. I don't know that he has, win you a week upside. This, to me, I see him, if he scores a touchdown, you're going to be golden. but I would say it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 6 for 78, and they're up 3 scores at halftime. And then you go into full, hey, Kenny, we drafted a second-round running back, so we don't care how many miles we put on you, and watch you have 26 carries in this game.
Or would you not go, we're already ahead, why would we run Kenny and run someone else?
Well, who are you going to run? You're not going to put in
that second-round quarterback there, running back that you just
who's currently listed 3rd on the depth chart.
Oh, is he?
This might be the only week of the year that I go, nope, it's him. It's him, 100% him. I'm not worried about anybody else.
Okay. All right. So no Zach Charbonnet. And who's the backup?
DJ Dallas.
DJ Dallas, yeah.
And I don't really feel like he's going to pilfer a whole mess of touches.
Yeah. I'm going to go quarterback on the next one. And this goes back to that whole Jacksonville Jaguar thing. Won't be shocked if we're talking about Trevor Lawrence as the number 1 scorer this week.
Yeah, T-Law is going to be real popular this week. And he should be. I don't remember what the pricing was on him on DraftKings, but I remember staring at it when I was setting my Battle for the Belt lineup this week. Speaking of the Battle for the Belt, you can get in on the contest. The links are at the front page of the website, thesportsocracy.com. You can also find them in the YouTube description. Each and every video that we've done for the last 4 months, it feels like. We got the Battle for the Belt opportunity for you. 2 belts on the line this year, and proceeds going to Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Follow all the links, get in on the contest, and hopefully at the end of the season, you'll be able to take yourself home a professionally made championship belt that has our logo on it, has all of our partners' logos on it, and for some reason, some goats as well. That's because you're the GOAT of the year. You are the GOAT. And if the pricing on that is an issue, I've had a few people reach out. We can make that work. You just have to send me a message. You do not have to play every week of the year. If you finish the top 3 in a week, you're in the finals.
Yep.
Let's go. So you'll be able to jump it. Now that's only in the standard. The eliminator, it's who's in week 1, because that's not fair. They have to play so many. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
In the standard, you can get in multiple weeks down the road.
Yep. Standard contest and the Eliminator Challenge. Go to thesportsocracy.com.
And if you don't have a DraftKings account and you want to figure out what it's all about and you want some free monies, shoot me a message and I'll tell you how to do that.
All right, Tom.
Because I have my own little thing there.
Top fantasy plays of the week. That's today's daily draft here in the Sportsocracy. We continue with Jeremy's 3rd pick. Up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 east and westbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. On the Charlotte Highway, no problems reported. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound, drive time 22 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select major kitchen appliances because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 8/24 through 9/13. Exclusions apply while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
The Murder Years is the scripted podcast that takes you on a gruesome trip back to the 80s. For Clarkston High's class of 82, school wasn't just hell, it was murder. Now, 40 years later, the former students revisit their past for answers.
I mean, it was like how many more of us were going to die? And who would be next?
Listen to The Murder Years on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
In a world where thrills never stop, $1 million is on the line, and your fate is decided every 4 minutes by a bunch of random numbers with...
Dan, I think Keno's exciting enough without you doing the voice. But my talents add a little something, right? I guess.
Carolina Keno, $1 million thrills every 4 minutes.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win. A price range from 1 to 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
In the midst of the daily draft here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, best favorite fantasy plays of the week is what we're talking about. I went with CeeDee Lamb for my first pick, and Jeremy thought that was stupid.
I didn't think it was stupid. It's just shocking.
Which after his 2 picks, I went, yeah, that was stupid. I should have thought better. See, that's the thing. Like, I get so locked in on one narrative, and I don't think about what you're going to do in the draft. And that's...
Well, I mean, we all know what I'm going to do in the draft. Beat you.
Yeah, well, unless we're doing food things. And then it's tough sledding from there on out.
Fantasy football, Jeremy, fat people things, tank.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is weird because I now outweigh him by 3 fat babies and 5 fully loaded backpacks.
Bingo.
I also out-height him by a foot and then some.
Bingo. Wait a minute. CeeDee Lamb was the first pick going up against the New York Giants this weekend. And then he went with Calvin Ridley, which is a great choice. Raheem Mostert, who's going to get a lot of tote this week against the Chargers. Then I came around with DK Metcalf against the Rams, who have Jacoby Durant as their star cornerback. And then Trevor Lawrence, who's going to be tossing all those touchdown passes to Calvin Ridley, was my third selection. Your third selection for the favorite Week 1 fantasy plays is?
This one was a little tougher for me because you took Kenny Walker off the board for me. That's not true. I took him off the board for myself. I like a billion running backs this week. But one of them that I'm shocked 3 picks in you haven't said is Miles Sanders.
Okay.
He's cheap across the industry. He went later in drafts than he should have.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of you have had a lot of access to him. What do young quarterbacks tend to drop off to?
Running backs.
And tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the tight end for the Panthers is Hayden Hurst, Ian Thomas, and something called a Tommy Tremble. So I'm going to say it's not going to be a lot of the latter, a lot of the former. Well, Chuba Hubbard has this weird disorder where he has 10 thumbs, and he can't catch anything but colds. Can't catch anything with those 10-thumb hands. So I feel like Miles Sanders has one of the safest floors of anybody on the board.
Okay.
And it's not really all that close. He in terms of safety rating, he is as high as any player in the league. Because I don't see a game script where this gets away and Bryce Young comes out and throws 47 times and they completely forget the running game.
Yeah, they won't do that.
I also can't see a path that if they run the ball any more than 25 times how he doesn't have 20 of them. I can't wrap my brain around any of those narratives, which means, am I going to tell you he's going to win you a week? No, he won't lose you one either.
Yeah. So he's a solid fantasy play.
He is a solid fantasy play.
With a lot of high-end upside for this week against the Atlanta Falcons. I get it. And then?
You're not going to like this.
Oh, no.
And you're going to think I'm out of my mind.
Okay.
What's that little nickname that I get called by? It's a nickname. Well, there's that one. I have a lot of them.
A Floaster Dumbass.
Well, there's that one. I get called that one a lot. And it's not original. You're not the first one. It's not new. It's not cute. It's a position in the NFL followed by a name. I am referred to as the tight end whisperer.
Oh, yes.
There's a guy that I've long liked the talent, and I've long hated the situation.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Kyle Pitts. I don't like Drake London at all. At all.
Okay.
I also feel pretty sure that J.C. Horn is going to shadow Drake London, which means he just became completely irrelevant to me. How many yards did the Falcons throw for in this game?
175.
All right. 175. How many of those go to running backs?
130.
That's entirely too high.
That's a lot.
Probably the highest percentage of any team in NFL history. Name me a receiver on this team not named Kyle Pitts. And then tell me who's going to defend him.
Mm-hmm.
And before you say Jeremy Chin, I'm going to need you to fact check how that tends to go.
Jeremy Chin on tight ends? Not
Jeremy Chin on
out.
the outside.
Okay.
Because they play him as a wide receiver.
I was going to go Shaq Thompson maybe. He was.
Please do.
I don't know.
It won't go well. I've looked down that entire roster going, who in the world can you put on that giant?
Right.
Now,
Shaq's probably the closest they have.
Could it get to where you have to get cute and start having to generate touches? Yes. But I can tell you, every person I've talked to in the offseason has said we are going to get Kyle Pitts involved because we still very much believe in the talent. And you can't have another year that's wasted on his rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they try to come out with a bang.
Okay.
I hate tight end this week.
Wow. You hate it?
I do. I hate tight end this week.
All right.
Because, we'll look at the matchups on all the guys you know I like.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Waller's going up against the Cowboys. Nope. George Kittle's already hurt. You know how I feel about T.J. Hawkinson. Mark Andrews isn't even the number one target in that offense anymore, and if he is, his share has been cut into.
Yep.
I mean, for me, I look at this and go, it's Evan Ingram, and I don't want to do other things.
Well,
and I feel like that's going to be really popular.
Since you're throwing shade, I'm just going to go ahead and make that my next pick because other than Travis Kelce.
Are you going to try to out-tight end me right now?
Yeah. Other than Travis Kelce, my favorite tight end on the week was T.J. Hawkinson because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not defend tight ends well. They've never been able to really figure it out. You would think with a guy like Antoine Winfield, no, he's not really great at coverage.
No, he's a box guy.
With an athlete on the second level like Devin White, the only reason he's still in this league is because he's so damn good at everything but covering people.
Yeah, he's somehow shockingly bad at it.
Right, he can't do that. And so you're telling me the best option to slow down T.J. Hawkinson or to take him off the board is going to be Levante David, who's 40 years old. Levante's good in coverage.
That was hyperbole.
Yes, Levante's good in coverage. I'll give him that. But he's probably going to be needed elsewhere. I feel like T.J. Hawkinson is a hell of a play at tight end this week just because the matchup is so bad against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'll make him my fourth pick. I know you weren't going to do it anyway, but
correct.
But I still feel like your shade on T.J. Hawkinson is. I don't know. It's born from somewhere deep inside you, where someone hurt you as a child.
No, you know what it's born from? Facts, which don't care about your feelings. 2 games last year, half of his production. I'm good. You keep treating him like he's elite. He is no.
Mm-hmm. Final pick of the draft for me. I got a lot that I really like, and I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs on this one. Something about him is just special. And I think the way that Detroit is going to use him is special. I'm not saying, I've already said I don't think that they're going to win tonight, but I do think they're going to be able to score tonight. And somebody's got to score other than Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I think it's probably going to end up being Jahmyr Gibbs out of that backfield.
Okay. That was not even. That is, you made 5 selections. 4 of them were not on a quite lengthy list that I had over here. So now I have to pick. Can I take 2 from the same team? Why did I ask that? My name's on the door. I'm taking 2 Washington Commanders because they're playing the Poop Birds, the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
And those 2 are Brian Robinson and Mr. Jahan Dotson. Terry McLaurin's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Okay.
Even if he does, I don't care. Because what is it that Eric Bieniemy does a great job of doing with receivers? Getting guys in the slot involved. You want to start Jahan Dotson off on the right foot, there's no better place to do it than against the Arizona Cardinals. If you could name me a starter in that secondary outside of Budda Baker, I would be reasonably surprised. The slot options are all either undrafted free agents or 6th or 7th round rookies.
Okay.
Jahan Dotson is going to eat a lot.
I like it.
I think he scores, and he is a tremendous play in DraftKings this week. I also really like Brian Robinson because there's a great chance they get up early. And when they do that, as opposed to just trying to run Howell into the ground, you just try to bleed the clock out, take the momentum, and ride off into the sunset. And I don't think they trust Antonio Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Rodriguez is a rookie, so I don't think he's going to eat into the carries that much.
Okay.
I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. I absolutely love Brian Robinson this year, and it's going to take a lot to change my mind on that.
You want all your last-minute fantasy decisions, a little help with that every Sunday morning. Don't forget you can tune in on the YouTube stream as we will be giving you your last-minute roster moves, favorite plays of the day, DFS, stacks, all that stuff every Sunday morning on the YouTube stream and at the Sportsocracy.com. When we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Asheville into the weekend forecast right now. Looks like Saturday brings some of the heaviest widespread rain to the mountains of western North Carolina. Just isolated storms here tonight, 63 degrees. Isolated storms Friday, 82. And scattered storms with half-inch downpours on Saturday, high 75 degrees. We'll be in the 70s and 80s with thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound delays between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, some backups. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Fletcher area, Hendersonville Road north and southbound, light delays near Fanning Bridge Road. And Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow approaching Mills Gap Road. Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road in North Asheville slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Summer days getting shorter and business to-do lists getting longer? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on Around the NFL. Win bragging rights in this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Are you ready to take your financial well-being to the peak of excellence? Hey everybody, it's Chris Angel from Mountain Credit Union. Summit Personal Checking is a high-dividend checking account designed to elevate your financial goals to unprecedented heights. Prepare for a financial experience that combines exceptional benefits, competitive returns, and unparalleled convenience, all in one powerful account. Rates subject to change, restrictions apply. Visit mountaincu.org or stop by any of our local branches to learn more about this limited-time offer from your local credit union. At Mountain Credit Union, we're here for you because we're here with you.
It's the Catamount football home opener on Saturday, September 9th at 2:30 p.m. as WCU takes on Sanford at Bob Waters Field, E.J. Whitmire Stadium. Brought to you by Ingles Markets and iHeartMedia Asheville. It's White Out Whitmire, as all fans are encouraged to wear white. The first 5,000 fans at the game get a free White Out shirt. Advanced ticket sales start at $16 for adults and $11 for kids. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Go Cats!
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer. It is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Let's go to Ohio. They do crimes in Ohio. Oh, especially in Ashtabula, Ohio. I used to work with a guy from Ashtabula, and he told the most cringy stories about the types of people that hung out in the redneck bars around Ashtabula, Ohio. You remember? You know Roger very well. He's from Ashtabula.
Indeed.
And some of his stories are phenomenal. And this story falls right into line with what I've been expected to believe about the Ashtabulians. Ankle bracelets. You know, there's those things that they give you after you got in trouble with the police and they want to keep tabs on your movement. You know you're not supposed to remove those, right? Well, this guy decided he was going to break the law. He didn't want to be tracked anymore, but apparently he didn't have the tools at home to get the job done. So, Jeremy, when you need a tool, where do you go?
I work with one every day.
Oh, so I got to give you props for that one. That was a good one.
You just chucked it out there.
The correct answer to the question was you go to a hardware store. This guy walks into the Ace Hardware in Ashtabula on Tuesday.
I just sucked all of the energy out of the story.
And he's going up and down the aisles looking very suspicious. So, of course, they started following him with the little web, the little security cam. He goes over to the hedge clippers, pulls a pair of clippers off of the wall, and then he goes to a dark spot in the store, real close by. 15 minutes later, I don't know what took him so long after the guy walked out of the store. 15 minutes later, they went back to the spot where he had been, and what did they find on the shelf of the store? It was the ankle monitor that he had cut off with the clippers. they called the police. They did the right thing. They said, hey, somebody dropped this off. And the parole officers showed up, got it. And, of course, they're now going to just hammer this guy with charges, and he'll be back in jail in no time. I did love the quote, though, from the manager of the store. He says, the other stores in the plaza did not have the tools that we have, and we're the helpful hardware folks with hedge clippers. Yes, we are. But do not expect that you're going to come into our store and break the law, and we will not be reporting it, because that wouldn't be the right thing to do.
Have you seen the Pocky one-chip challenge?
Yes.
Well, you've probably seen it for the last time.
T's and P's.
A 14-year-old has passed away after eating the chip. Now, I'm not being crass here. I'm really not. Nobody in the history of time has ever eaten anything that was too hot and died. Now, might have had an allergy. That's what it seems like it could be. But be really careful of what you read on the internet, because stupid people say stupid things every day, and I just read 4 of them in one very simple Google search. That is not why I'm telling this story. I'm telling this story because do you know how much that thing was?
The chip?
It's one chip. It's one chip in a box that looks like a coffin.
It was like $50. I don't know.
For being the cheapest person on the planet, you are awful at this game. If one chip was $50, I would have rioted that store myself. And I am not a cheap man. It was $9.99 for that one chip. And it's only got,
not too bad.
It's a dusted tortilla chip with Carolina Reaper and Viper pepper.
Viper?
Yes.
Never heard of that one.
It is real hot.
Like 80 billion Schofield units?
It's actually not as hot as the Carolina Reaper.
Okay.
So it sounds worse. But, T's and P's for this kid that ate this thing and passed away. I'm just dumbfounded that anybody... The things that go viral on TikTok drive me nuts. Hey, look, watch me eat this really hot chip. Do you not watch Hot Ones, bro? Like, we've had so many hot ones that I think they just had the creator of Mortal Kombat, because they've run out of actual celebrities to do hot ones, which in my head means I hope my time is coming very soon. So I can just look at all of you and go, there is no heat in any of this. You that cry on the bomb, stop.
Oh, yeah, there they are. I've never seen those in a store somewhere.
What, a Viper pepper?
No, the Pocky chips. I've never seen those.
Well, it's an unfortunate story for Pocky, because you put your chip in a coffin and then somebody passed away.
Yeah.
That's end of company. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. I mean, is that what's going to happen here?
They're completely stripping it off shelves.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just we'll take
PR
it away
move
for a while, and then we'll bring it back, and everything will be...
I don't understand it says all over the box, hey, don't eat this if you're not an adult.
Yeah.
I don't know what more you're supposed to do.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I don't believe that the chip would cause that in and of itself. Mark Starling and I were talking about this the other morning on 570, of that had to be either an allergic reaction to something, or, I don't know, the kid might have had gastro issues where explosive ulcers or something like that. I don't know.
As somebody that has ulcers on a very frequent basis, you can strike that one, because it ain't that.
Ulcers can't kill you?
They can kill you. Not off one chip, they can't.
Yeah.
If they could, I would have been dead.
If he was living on the edge, you never know.
If they could, I would have been dead 743 times.
Right, because no one has treated their body worse than you.
Yeah, and I have a disorder that really lends me to that. And, yeah, I eat the hottest thing I can get in my mouth at all times. I just discovered that Texas Pete has a hotter hot sauce.
Okay.
They have the normal Texas Pete hot sauce.
Yep.
Yeah, they have a hotter than that. I didn't know that.
Is that the Scorpion?
I don't know what it is. It's divine, and I've been putting it on everything for about 2 weeks.
One of them, I can't remember if it's Texas Pete or it might be Tabasco, has a Scorpion hot sauce.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes, I like spicy things.
It is one of those that I found that my tastes changed over the last few years. I used to be a total wuss when it comes to hot stuff. I could take it more now than ever. I would never do one of those Pocky chip challenge things.
If somebody bring it to me right now, I'd do it on the air.
I know.
Right
I've seen you scarf down that Mount St. Hell No flavor over at Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack before.
I miss it. It's so good.
Can't do
delicious.
that. I'm like
the one above that. No, you should not eat that because that cost me like 12 hours of my life.
The extreme one that you got to sign a waiver for.
It tasted wonderful. Only 2 times in my life have I ever had to just woefully tap out.
Okay, so the Tabasco is the one that has the scorpion. It's like the super hot one. It's really good.
Yeah, that hottest Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack, and I went to a noodle house in New Orleans and made the horrid error of saying, you can't make it too hot for me.
Oh, yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
Don't ever do that.
I honestly thought that I thought it was never going to stop.
I was going to say, don't ever challenge a noodle shop or an Asian cuisine place to, you can't make it hot enough for me.
9 days later, I had a stomach pain and went, you have got to be kidding me. You must be jesting that this is still hurting me in some shape, form, or fashion.
Congratulations to Derek Sexton. He was the winner of our pair of tickets to the NC Appalachian State game coming up this Saturday. You'll hear the game right here on ESPN. Asheville, that is a 4:15 start time for the pregame, 5:15 scheduled kickoff from Keenan Stadium. And congratulations to Derek for picking up those tickets, and I'm sure that we will have more opportunities to give away Tar Heel tickets throughout the season. So keep it tuned right here to your home for the Tar Heels, ESPN Asheville. All right, tonight, Chiefs and Lions. What is your fantasy advice when it comes to Travis Kelce? Are you setting your lineup with confidence right now, or are you just waiting like everybody else?
I can't believe this is as big of a story as it is.
It's the only thing going.
No, it's not. You got college football. We're to the good times. All right, this is not the only thing going. Wait. We have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Your kids must love when you're a chaperone at dances.
We haven't done that yet. I can't wait.
This is from Jordan Schultz. It has been retweeted by the Fantasy Sports Radio Twitter account. Travis Kelce is out tonight for the season opener versus the Lions.
All right, there you go.
Told the Chiefs All-Pro tight end made a strong push to play after this morning's workout, but the team did not want to risk anything with a full season of games ahead.
Well, there you go. There's your there's your update, Dustin Waltman. That was his question in the comments. What am I supposed to do tonight? Well, no Travis Kelce, so hope you got a backup.
Oh, all right. So let me give you a strategery. There's probably not a play. I mean, first of all, you should have IR, and your IR spot would cover that, and you just pick up somebody else. Chig Okonkwo is like 4% owned in fantasy leagues right now. Do that. What else could you do? Cole Kmet, I think last time I looked, was 28% owned or something like that. Oh, yeah, you could do that. Other tight ends that you could look to pick up this week. Let me see if there were any on my list. Outside of the one I said earlier. You could do worse than Greg Dulcich.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still the one, no matter how much Sean Payton loves Adam Troutman. Noah Fant in Seattle, because the Raiders are horrid against tight ends. Then I get into you could be an every week play, but the Tyler Conklins, the Gerald Everetts. If Gerald Everett's out there, that's probably my call. People will get freaked out by Javon Holland. You really shouldn't. That really should not freak you out as much as it does.
Okay.
And then if none of those are available, I would probably chase one of the young guys, either Kincaid or Luke Musgrave. That would probably be my tact this week.
All right, there you go. No Travis Kelce tonight for Thursday Night Football. The Chiefs won't really need him anyway. Obviously, he helps, yes, but it's not really necessary, I don't think, to be able to beat the Detroit Lions, but I do think it might keep the game a little bit closer. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 west and eastbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road is slow. Avery Creek area, Boulevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Charlotte Highway near Rocket Drive delays. North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road slow. I'm Lemon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Win your way to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival and $1,000.
Oh, man, that is great.
You'll be there.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The Hartford Small Business Insurance knows that opening a small business is a great achievement. Thanks to all the owners for all they do to keep our communities vibrant and strong. Learn more about the Hartford Small Business Insurance and why over 1 million small business owners trust them. Visit thehartford.com/smallbusiness.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo!
Instant winner.
Here.
Oh. Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present!
Every single time.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Attention! It's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Back in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. Final segment of a threadbare Thursday, which means next time you hear us on this here radio station, it's going to be a
Football Friday.
And we'll have Asheville Police Chief David Zach. He's on the schedule to join us tomorrow for the first week of Beat the Chief.
He'll be there in the 4 o'clock hour.
As Jeremy tries to defend his title from last year.
We have now all won one.
Yes.
This is the 4th season of Beat the Chief.
Chief won the first one. I won the second one. Jeremy, he
You won the second one under shenanigans.
It wasn't shenanigans.
It was shenanigans.
It was tiebreaker.
It was shenanigans.
You chose the wrong horse in the national championship game.
Shenanigans. I should be the 2-time reigning, defending.
No, not so much. But we will have Beat the Chief tomorrow in the 4 o'clock hour of the program. We'll have the daily draft where we get you set for where we're going to go this weekend around the country.
You know what else we have?
What is that?
Bangers.
3 sets of bangers, as we do each and every Friday. Jeremy, have you been able to find those dogs yet? He likes to give 6 dogs every week, and all week I've heard, how the hell am I going to come up with 4 more dogs? So you're still working on it.
It's right. We're going to get there. I believe in me.
Jeremy will have all of the ways that you can make some money this weekend in college and pro as well. Week 1 of the NFL season, and it all starts tonight, and I'm so glad that it is here.
We have 150-plus days of football. This is the good times, people. This is what we've waited for. We're rolling right into the time of mock draft Mondays. Start Monday. We said, hey, mock draft it. No, this is the first day of the season. Monday. That's where you put out extra content with the mock draft. Because, see, that makes sense. See how we said that? It's also the first day of our our time switch experiment.
Yep.
In the hopes that, Tank doesn't have another infarction.
Looking back on it, I'm glad I had that heart attack. It shortened up my days.
Yes, it did.
Without much effort on my part, really. I worked hard on that heart attack for 40 years.
I was about to say, you have 2 more, we'll be in morning drive.
Well, now that will be stress. I don't think I can do 2 shows at once in the morning drive.
Oh, yeah.
But it is what it is. Stephen Tao, talking about the game tonight, says that the Lions are screwed either way tonight. If they win, it's going to be, they beat Kansas City and they didn't have Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. And if they lose, it's going to be, man, they beat them even without Travis Kelce and Chris Jones.
I'll agree on the former side of that, on the latter side of that. The former side, if Detroit were to go into Kansas City and beat them tonight, it will be really loud that Detroit is here,
yes,
and they're the best team in the NFC, and they're I see it in the offing.
The Detroit,
and the only reason, what Tao said is absolutely right, except for the fact that you've got about 60% of people that think this is the year, at least media people, that think this is the year for the Lions. We're one of the few shows that has kind of pulled the reins back and gone, I'm not so sure of that.
Well, I feel like everybody else just went full, jumping out of an airplane, just on the Detroit Lions. Like all their eggs are in the basket of this is the year that it turns around for them. But I think even if the Lions win it, or if the Lions win it tonight, I'm going to look at them differently. I'm going to think, I don't care that Chris Jones wasn't there and Travis Kelce wasn't there.
Was Pat Mahomes
You still
there?
beat Patrick Mahomes.
That's going to be
Reed.
my first question, regardless.
Exactly. Patrick Mahomes played. They shouldn't have lost that game. So we'll just have to wait and see. Kickoff tonight, 8:20 on NBC. Yes, this is the first of 2 NBC games this week that we'll have to put up with Chris Collinsworth.
Leading
we'll
up
get through it.
To the finale of the week, which is Asheville Police Chief David Zach's Buffalo Bills against your 2023 Super Bowl champion New York Jets. The worst thing that ever happened to any of you was the Denver Nuggets winning an NBA title.
Yes.
Because now superstitious Jeremy went, hey, that worked. It took 3 years. Don't care. I got 3 more.
I got 3 more with Aaron Rodgers, and we'll get there eventually.
You ever seen my contract? I'll be here until 3 minutes before I die.
And I don't know that that's a bad thought to have. If it may not happen this year, they're going to be one of the favorites for the foreseeable future with this young core of athletes that they have and Aaron Rodgers at the helm. As long as he still wants to play, that team is going to be a contender.
Oh, we finally made it. I'm literally watching the last seconds tick off of the show. This is the last show that we will do for almost half a year with no tangible NFL football to talk about. Right. Breathe it in, baby!
That's right. All the picks coming your way tomorrow on a
Football Friday.
I just got to get you warmed up for that because it is here and it is nonstop until February. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We will see you tomorrow at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Storm chances going up for Asheville into the weekend forecast right now. It looks like Saturday brings some of the heaviest widespread rain to the mountains of western North Carolina. Just isolated storms here tonight, 63 degrees. Isolated storms Friday, 82. And scattered storms with half-inch downpours on Saturday, high 75 degrees. We'll be in the 70s and 80s with thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 westbound is slow approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound is slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slowing. Inca Village area, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select major kitchen appliances because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 8/24 through 9/13. Exclusions apply while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Careless debris burning is the leading cause of wildfires in North Carolina. Remember to keep your burn pile small, not tall, and never burn on dry, windy days or leave your fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov. You are the best defense against wildfires.
Foo Fighters,
Fall Out Boy,
Kelly Clarkson,
King Brown,
Lil Wayne, Lil Durk,
Lenny Kravitz,
Miguel,
Public Enemy,
Sheryl Crow,
Travis Scott,
Tim McGraw,
TLC,
30 Seconds to Mars.
Get your tickets now.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
AXS.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You are looking live at Tim Murray and Super Bowl champion Sean King on VSiN Primetime.
The NFL season is here. We are off and running on a Football Thursday, a NFL season opening Thursday alongside Super Bowl champ Sean King. I am Tim Murray. We are here at the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas. We are 2 hours away, Sean King, from the start of the 2023 NFL season. I am fired up. We are all fired up. We are college football fans, obviously, but nothing beats the NFL, and we've got a dandy in store for us tonight. The Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champs, get to raise the banner at Arrowhead Stadium, but they will be without superstar tight end Travis Kelce. He is out. Sean King, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Kelsey's not participating. Neither is Chris Jones participating. I heard he may be in a suite somewhere, but guess what? I am participating. It's going to be a joyous occasion tonight. NFL is back. The games count. And guess what? I think I got a way to make you and me some money.
Line right now sits at 4.5 as the news coming out that, as we all expected yesterday, but more of the official nature, Travis Kelce expected to be out. And at DraftKings right now, it has dropped to 4. So my question to you, Sean, because both you and I have a prop that we are playing. I gave it out yesterday. You've held off on yours, so we will find that out shortly. So yesterday I said I like Mahomes over 17.5 rushing yards. As of this very moment, subject to change, as of this moment, that is the only play I have right now heading into tonight's contest that was available yesterday at DraftKings. But
I actually like that play a lot more because Kelsey's not in the lineup, because normally what he does is he scrambles, but he doesn't cross the line of scrimmage because he knows Kelsey is going to redirect, change direction. They're going to have some kind of like highlight film play. Without Chelsea being there, he may feel like he has to add that to his repertoire tonight in order for the Chiefs to come out with the victory.
So my question to you, as it sits at 4 now, the only 4 that I see is at DraftKings. 4.5 pretty much elsewhere across the market. Have we gone too far? Jared Goff, by the way, in season openers, 6-0 ATS. Patrick Mahomes, 5-0 straight up, 4-1 ATS. We talked about the stats. I'll repeat them. In season openers, Patrick Mahomes, 18 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, over 1,500 yards in 5 game 1 of the seasons. Has the number gone too far? Is it now time to pounce on the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I'm not one to respond or answer candidly what you just asked, because I have a rule that I've implemented for this National Football League season. I don't fade baby Jesus. And
anymore.
I don't. I've learned my lesson. Either I'm backing Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs from a side standpoint, or I stay away and find other ways to attack the game. He has just continually proven that no matter what, no matter who's available, he still finds a way. So considering that Detroit was not very good on defense and they bypassed Jalen Carter with their number 1 draft pick to take Jahmyr Gibbs, I'll get into Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit later, I still am going to take a wait-and-see approach as to what Detroit actually is defensively. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy the game. I do have a big play tonight, a big position. Hopefully it's the right one. I think it is. I will get to that a little bit later in the show. But rule of thumb, I'm not fading baby Jesus. I'm not fading baby Jesus' little brother. For those that are just tuning in, that is Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. At no point will I be on the other side from a side standpoint when they are playing.
So the Detroit Lions, the favorites in the NFC North, take the field against the Kansas City Chiefs right now at DraftKings. That number sits at 4. Kansas City laying 4, which is pretty interesting considering if this game were on a neutral, it would be near a pick-em. Maybe a slight lean towards Kansas City. And if this game were in Detroit, based off of the odds we're seeing right now, Sean King, Detroit would be a slight favorite. So has the market moved a little bit too much? Only time will tell. I do not have a play on the side or the total. The total, if you're wondering, sits at 53 right now at DraftKings and most sports books across this country. So it is going to be a great one tonight. Plenty of action coming in. And if you like the Detroit Lions on the money line, it is now plus 170 at DraftKings.
I'm sure they'll probably get some action with the announcement. And it just happened right before we actually came on live air that Travis Kelce is not participating tonight. As we know, or maybe you don't, also all pro, all everything defensive tackle Chris Jones